Hello everybody and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon. We're back with yet another episode of Call of Cthulhu Reign of Terror. We've got a full cast and crew back here today to play some good old cock. And Master of the Cock, or Greg, Grimjack21502, our keeper for today, is here with us. How are you doing, Greg?
Pretty good. I like my new title. It's fitting sometimes. Anywho, I am here. I am ready to play a little Reign of Terror. I am psyched because I know what is going to occur in this episode. This is the beginning of the insanity begins here. I can definitely start to rob people of their minds and their lives. But like we expressed last time, I think in the post-show wrap-up, this is more like a series or a movie in the series Scream. There will be jokes, dick jokes. We will talk about French accents, Joey de Vivre, someone will die. Act to the jokes. So here, we are ready to do it. Let's do it. It's Monday afternoon, evening. Let's end this shitty day on a good note.
Yeah. Speaking of shitty things, Mike, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I do have a question for you, though, Will.
Yes.
If you're a D&D sex icon, is Master of Cock the next thing that you are going for? You have to fight Greg for that title?
I think it might be it's either a level up or a level down, depending on the scenario.
There can be only one Master of Cock.
I was just saying, like, do you guys have to fight this out? Like, what's the plan here?
It's like AD&D, where there's only ever that 1/20th level Master of Cock. So when you get 19th, you've got to come to my temple and challenge me.
Yeah, this is truly a Highlander situation. Mike, you got like 8 nat 1s today. How you feeling about that?
You know, I'm not feeling good. Like, I'm not feeling good about the game because Greg keeps taunting me, and I have so many nat 1s that looking over here to the stream just makes me nauseous about what's going to happen today. So, chat, please stop fucking me. Please. That's it. That's all I have.
Never stop
That's all I have.
He's really mean to my character, so maybe you can keep it.
He's a bad soldier. Speaking of bad soldiers, no, wait, that's me. I'm a great soldier. I'm playing Sergeant Renault, who is the leader of this ragtag bunch of miscreants. So hopefully I remain that way, or I roll a new character, one of the two.
Amazing. We also have Haley back with us today, the greatest Haley. How are you doing?
Doing great, so happy to be back after so long. But I will be playing Christoph, the ever dashing, ever handsome. Yep.
Amazing. Christoph is a beautiful man with a beautiful heart. And speaking of beautiful things, we have Mythomatic back with us today. Myth, how you doing, my friend?
Hello. How you doing, everybody? What's up, Will?
I'm good, man. I'm ready for the hand.
Nice. Yeah, me too. Always ready for the hand. So I'm playing Etienne Babin. He's like a taciturn soldier who has a wooden hand because he blew it up once before or something like that. But he's also a deadeye. So I've exploded oil lamps in the past, and I've also done crazy things before. What did I do last time? I did something badass last time.
You shot through someone's hand so they wouldn't kill me.
Right, exactly. Yeah, amazing stuff. Well, we'll see more of that this episode. More shots from him and more jokes from me. So let's see if we can live up to those dreams.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And we also have Jules back with us tonight. How you doing, Jules?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Good. We're good.
I'm playing Joseph / Martine. If you missed it last time, Joseph's actually a lady dude. She's an awesome soldier, probably the best soldier there is. And she's really good at disguising herself by literally not being a dude anymore. So that's what she's doing. She's going to a middle school dance in this episode. It's going to be great. Some creepy dude with sweaty palms is going to probably dance with her, and that's the story.
It's probably going to be my character.
The perfect segue.
Yeah. Speaking of greasy dudes with sweaty palms, I will be playing... well, read this back to high school. I'll be playing Michelle, who is a young soldier with he's got a heart of gold, I think, really. He's a sweet little lad. But he has absolutely no understanding of who Joseph is at this point. If he's a man, if he's a woman, if he's Martine, if he's Joseph, he's really confused by the whole ordeal. He's not the brightest spark in the army, probably, in France right now. But he does intend well. He does mean well. He's somewhat brave, he'd like to think, but most of the time he's screaming. But nonetheless, he does it for his country, for his king. So we'll see how it goes for Michelle. I fear for Michelle. Well, It's somewhat. Oh my god, I heard myself again. That was creepy. Okay, don't worry. I mean, I love hearing the sound of my own voice, so it was great. But at the same time as well. Quick shout out to our sponsors, D&Dice.co.uk. Boom! Go check out some of their dice. These legendary set of dice I got here. Going to be rolling some of these bad boys, and so far, my luck in Call of Cthulhu has been like pretty damn good. So maybe it's down to D&Dice.co.uk, am I right? You get 5% off there. Use coupon encounter roleplay. Let's support the show. Help us keep going. Before we get to the recap, I'll remind you guys how to interact with today's show. If you haven't followed the show yet, hit the follow button and join us. When we hit 20 followers, you guys get to decide something which happens next in our game. It's Call of Cthulhu, so it's bound to be terrible, my friends. Also, here is the tweet for you guys. 20 retweets, another viewer decision, and of course, you can donate to affect the game. Give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and the pets are only good for another couple of days before you can get those. And then they'll be gone into the void. Dead pets. But yeah, check out the tables, have some fun, and I'm going to hand over to Grimjack21502, our very own keeper, to talk about what happened last time on Reign of Terror.
Wonderful, wonderful. I was getting a little roboting there, so hopefully it's not me. But if I do, someone give me like a thumbs up or a shake or something as I begin this. But to bring it back down into the Reign of Terror in 1789, France, to recap, Paris is on a knife's edge. A war, very bloody, is shaping up to take place. But for this select group, something else is ready to occur. Last time they were commissioned after the events at the printing press where they uncovered and were able to research and investigate a murder, they were told by Captain Milan to go to the Rue de Vie, the Road of Wine, and pick up one Dupois. As they went there, they did find Dupois kind of slumped down under his bottle. They awoke him. But what really occurred there was between, let's see, who was it there? It was Joseph and Babin. And as they were attacked by an assailant that had a very strong resemblance to the carriage driver that took two workers' lives the night before, they were attacked, and Joseph was pretty severely wounded by a strike across his face. That also reminds me, Jules, you only have 3 hit point loss now. That other 3 should have gone away, so you should be down 3. When they found Dupois, could someone describe to me after the assailant was killed with an expert shot by Babin, who took his fingers off, and then from a rifle shot with Joseph lying on the ground, taking the assailant's life, what did the assailant look like when you began your investigation?
Oh, bruh, he did not look good.
He had no skin.
He had like no skin whatsoever. He had totally gotten rid of all of his skin.
Like,
except for the
like
eyes.
A fashion, I guess.
It was a lifestyle choice, I think, is what I would yeah.
His nose to his forehead was in skin, and then everything else was not skin. So
it was like crackling.
Correct. He had like a mask basically here of skin. Everything else was skinless, exposing tendon, muscle, ligament. After that, they only, or too little. It depends, or what exactly was used. It's a shame, but anywho, on to Versailles they went, where they met with Captain Milan and Dr. Rigault. And as they met with the two of them, they had also taken the body, borne carefully by their loyal steed, Omelette du Fromage. And as they left the body in the cart and returned with Captain Milan and Dr. Rigault, the body was gone. But the carriage that they saw, the white carriage with the red trim, was in fact there. And it was identified that the aristocrat potentially that ran over the 2 workers and was involved with the murders at the printing press was none other than a friend of the crown and a German native named Comte Fenelick. Upon hearing that name, Dr. Rigault and Captain Milan, commissioned the group to go to Fenelick's estate to infiltrate, spy, and do reconnaissance, but do not engage the Comte directly, as they wanted information and evidence to arrest him. Now, the information or evidence that would be necessary to do so would be something that either A, shows blasphemy towards God, 2, shows a distaste or disregard for the crown, or 3, something that absolutely shows that he is sowing the seeds of sedition against the crown or trying to instigate a civil war. What was that? Let me say something. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, Mr. Greg.
I keep hearing back feed. I'm
Just
sure it's my
hearing noises.
Yeah, I'm just hearing things, guys. It's Cthulhu's finally got me. But anyway, as they were dispatched to the estate, several things happened in Versailles before they left. As Joseph decided to raid the laundry, and instead of getting civilian attire for the soldiers or perhaps some other type of disguise, a dress was secured, as was the large hoop apparatus that goes underneath said dress, as was makeup, as was perfume, I believe, which was an accepted guillotine body spray was found and obtained. In addition to that, guillotine for men.
Heads
As the other things went through, Michelle was able to meet with a young aristocratic lady by the name of Melody Benoit. And Melody Benoit became smitten with young Michelle.
Thank you,
and
Evan.
Michelle was able to secure both an invitation and a near kiss, which in 1789 France might as well have been missionary in the middle of the courtyard, right? So as that was taken care of and the group met back up, they commandeered a carriage, hooked up their faithful steed, Omelette du Fromage, and headed off to the estate of Comte Fenelic in the suburb of Poissy. As they arrived there, Christophe took the reins as the driver, and Michelle, dressed in finery, as everyone had removed their soldier's garb and were going undercover. Michelle had dressed in a finery provided to him by the acquisitions of Joseph in the laundry, but I will allow Jules to explain what exactly happened to Joseph the soldier.
Joseph came clean about the fact that he's not Joseph, he's Martine. I think that's really all we covered. She hasn't really fully explained how, as a woman, she got into the army, and poor Michelle is very confused.
Yes, Michelle's having a hard time with it. It was very revelatory.
Lost some sanity points on that one, I think.
Right. It was very revelatory for the sergeant, who all of his prior it checked a lot of boxes for the sergeant as far as performance reviews and things of that nature. Yeah.
Everything made sense.
Right. In this situation.
On your garbage. Okay, perfect.
Right. So as Christophe drove the carriage into the very plush but very Gothic-inspired estate of Comte Fenelic, they went around a circular driveway. They pulled up in a line of carriages, and ahead of them, greeting each carriage as it was dropped off and its occupants dispersed or delivered, was a striking, tall gentleman with a perfectly powdered wig, shining buckles, none other than Comte Fenelic, none other than the man that Michelle saw in the carriage the night before, who locked eyes with him and may very well be able to identify him.
I put a lot of makeup and a wig on him. We're good.
And when we last left, he introduced himself and welcomed everybody. But before we start back with Martine and Michelle and Christophe driving, I'd like to go back and see what Babin, Dupois, and the sergeant are doing outside of the wall.
Speaking of the sergeant, Irvin donates £10. Man, unmade is some bad luck. Let him try his luck on the Wild Magic Surge wheel. Mike, give 2 Wild Magic Surges, and that could be good. And Fan, your cast donates £3 to Christophe. Gets a crit success. PJ Sugar.
No, thanks.
I'm ready for this, Mike. I'm prepared for you. I believe that your luck is gonna change.
Well, you got 2 ends of the spectrum, Will.
What'd you get, first one?
9413.
9413. Trying both ends. Next, ooh, interesting. The next polymorph magic used nearby makes the caster a quadruped. So some kind of quadruped. I can't even say the fucking word. Quadruped. Nailed it.
Quadrupedal.
Like a zebra?
Quadrupedal.
Shut the fuck up, Greg. Get out.
We're getting another dog.
Game over.
We're getting a new dog.
Yes!
All right, Will. 1534.
Use.
Dog.
The sergeant is going to spend the next 1d4 rounds attempting to ignite his shoes.
Sergeant, please, no.
Ignite his shoes. Okay, here's how we'll play this. The shoes that you are currently wearing do not fit correctly. Whether they were provided to you or whether they were acquired as part of your outfit, they are causing you no amount of discomfort. So you're constantly adjusting them, you're constantly moving them, and maybe it's the soldier in you that's polishing the shoes to a very high shine, which is actually making them very warm. But you just can't seem, you're fidgety. This is like a moment before a battle where many good sergeants, on my command, unleash hell. Well, in Renault's case, it's on my command, shine my fucking shoes till they burst into flames. So he's just really working them. I mean, he's twerking on the railroad here. He's getting some stuff done.
I'm going to roll my 4 wild magic surges here from Isriva just in advance.
I'm gonna quietly sob
because that's happening. Oh, also another
You got cry.
Another nat 20 to Christoph from Fan Yogcast. Thank you, friend.
Oh yeah,
sure. Welcome back, Haley.
This is what happens when I bring my community over here. They're nice to me.
Aww, we like Haley's people.
God damn it.
I'll roll these, but carry on.
Like
carry
how
on.
Your notifications are like right over my face.
I know, it's because you weren't here last week. God damn it, Haley. I moved them now.
I have no idea what we're doing, to be honest.
You're setting your shoes on fire. That's what you're doing.
No, I know. Yeah.
Doing a shit job of sneaking.
Yeah.
You guys are able to, the ones that are staying behind, Babin, Dupois, and the sergeant, you're able to watch pretty easily since there are lantern and torchlight up the driveway. And you can see that Omelette du Fromage, Christophe, and the carriage-born Michel and Martine have made it to the front door. But you're also noticing something else. As soon as the carriages are being emptied, the would appear to be like the courtmen or the guards around the area are pushing the carriages and forcing them back off the estate grounds. And you're just now noticing the first couple carriages as they come back down the driveway and are leaving to the local village. It appears that Christoph will not be able to stay on the premises.
Okay, and we're outside the gate?
You're outside the wall, yeah. You guys motioned that you were outside the wall at the beginning. I think we pinged it somewhere low on the estate, right by the one, but below the wall.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll ping it if I can. There you go. Yeah, right around there. You guys are on the other side of the wall, though.
Okay. And this wall goes all the way around this estate? Is that what I'm to believe?
It does. It does, in fact, go.
What does the wall look like?
What's the wall look like, you say? Okay, that's an excellent question. It is about 10 feet tall, and it's capped with various spikes, but they are more for ornamentation than anything else. It's not like a razor wire line or even a defensible position. It is just part of the decor that every 5 feet or so, there'll be like a wrought iron spike that will be sitting up. But it is a 10-foot tall stone block wall.
There's going to be something on that spike, calling it.
Poison.
Like a body?
Yeah.
Poison.
Reason for insanity check, I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, I guess Renault kind of looks around to everybody. This is not his forte, mounting a assault on a fortified building. And he says, how do we get in? Does anyone have any ideas?
We can knock.
I don't think that will work.
Why not? We're soldiers. We walk right in.
We don't look like soldiers right now.
But I am a soldier. No denying that.
That is true. Perhaps your soldier hand will get us in.
You're right.
We don't have like a
that is
saboteur among us, do we? No one's.
Excuse me, I blew up my hand.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought, aren't you a saboteur?
Yeah, I am a saboteur.
Saboteur.
I mean,
They actually they invented that name. That word is actually because of Etienne. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They saboteur.
Yeah, he has his own video game.
That's what happened when you were like saboteur and your hand exploded.
Exactly.
That was the noise you made.
Yeah,
I would assume blowing up the wall is not an option.
I could also shoot the door open. I'm like, that's my height.
Right. I will also remind you all that this is a recon expedition.
Yeah.
Where you are to secure evidence and
Yeah.
right.
All right.
So if you want to blow stuff up, that's super fine. But yeah,
You know,
you have been given orders.
yeah. Yeah. So
While
Joseph is supposed to bring us inside.
Is it a
You guys got to get over the wall. I can't.
But we got to
do
get
it.
in there first. Yeah, that's the problem. That's problem A.
By the
It's not
way,
that high.
Joseph and Christoph also have a wild magic surge each to roll.
Okay. While Kristoff is still like within the gate, can he see if there's like a servant's entrance from the sides? Like, can he see if there's like another way inside of the building?
Sure, absolutely. You're going to see something here because of your proximity, but roll spot hidden, and that'll let me know how much you see.
Oh shit, Christoph also has a pet from Fran Yogscast. Yes.
Yay!
It's the pets are a D100. You might see a pet.
Gonna be Mike.
Okay.
Be a zebra. You get to ride me in the building.
Gonna be Joe DeVere. 86. Oh,
I'm
this
just
is
rolling
so.
all the things.
This is dope. A disembodied hand that loves to pick passers-by pockets.
Is it really?
Oh, you got a thing!
It's hand.
Etienne's ghost hand.
It's ghost hand.
How are we gonna make this canon?
My stranger.
Oh my god.
That's my stranger.
The stranger.
I'm gonna
Oh my
go,
God.
guys. I'm just gonna go, just go away.
Oh man,
We all wish you would, Mike.
I know.
I show up just for the mathematic, guys. I'm just.
Don't we all?
Right.
I'm writing that it's his hand.
Right. Okay. So. All right. Disembodied hand. I will work that in there.
Okay. I succeeded, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, you succeeded. And then, what was your wild magic surge that you?
6718.
67.
Will, let's do those right now because something's going to happen when I flip back to you guys. That might...
You suddenly realize that your identity is a fictional construct, Joseph. Your identity is a fictional construct.
Where?
What?
I mean, I feel like she knew that the whole time.
Yeah. Oh wait, 1-8, not 1-9.
Wait, that's.
Oh, I thought you said 1-9. Okay, 1-8 is target suddenly realizes that you are only an illusion.
I mean,
Oh,
still.
man, we're one
Right.
away from the mystical construct one.
We can make it a mystical construct one if you like.
Yeah, I mean that makes too much sense for this situation.
I like it.
What is happening?
I mean
Um,
that's crazy.
Oh my god. Jules, this is bad. So Martine spins a cocoon and emerges in 1d4 days with butterfly wings.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna switch that up. I'll
Okay,
Wait, is Kristoff gonna get butterfly wings?
that's gonna be dope if you do.
That would be, I would choose.
Can you
either of
fly
those
us over
to
the
tell you
gate?
truth.
Yeah, if I can fly inside. My wild magic surges from Mystery Vet and Irvin were next person to wound a target is splattered with fish guts. Get fucked. I'm gonna throw fish guts over you. When I die, my skeleton turns to glass. Dope. Fucking sculpture
Nice.
right there.
Cool.
Everyone within 50 yards are at a -2 to hit for the
Have
next
to die
2
under the
rounds.
border go so we can have a really bad.
Well, I'll turn it. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it into the crystal skull. That's exactly what I was thinking. Target can ingest and digest small quantities of bone. Ladies.
all of your shit's good.
Well, no, yeah, and I feel intense discomfort when people smile at me, so it's very much like real life.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Michelle's
Like,
not different.
figure this out and smile at you every day, all day.
Okay, Will. So just remind me of the -2 to hit that you have.
All within.
And then-
Yeah, sure. I'll
yeah,
bring
because
that up.
what we'll do is we'll just like the next encounter that
Sure
you
thing.
might. Yeah, we'll do that, and then the other ones,
Thanks,
the
Scrap. Appreciate it,
ingesting
man.
small amounts of bone.
Yeah.
Have with it, man. That's just maybe that's your kink, dude. You'll just be able to rock around with that. Okay. All right. So as Christoph, you rolled a succeeded in your spot hidden roll.
Mhm.
You do notice that off to the side, you do see servants going in and out of an entrance, and you catch a glimpse as you're kind of shoot away and the carriage begins to move. As Omelette du Fromage is taking you back towards the gate, you do see what looks like a garden and a park in the rear of the estate. And it seems to be very, very sparsely populated. In fact, you don't see anybody there. As you come back around. You return to the outside of the gate, and you're able to kind of stash the carriage in some of the overgrown foresty areas between here and the village, and you're able to return to the three gentlemen that are still outside. What would you like to do outside the gates, Sergeant? Babin, Christophe, and Dubois.
Christophe has returned to us finally.
Yes, he's back.
Okay, yeah. So Renault has his foot up on a stone. I assume there's like some kind of decorative stones out there, and he pulls out he's shining his shoes as well. There's a party. He has to look his best, as one would. He's not an attractive man, so he must have at least shiny shoes. So he looks up and he says, "Christophe, how do we get inside? What did you see from inside the walls?"
There was a servant's entrance that we could possibly sneak into. There's also a park.
Savants
in
and
the-
trance.
What?
What?
You mean a savants and trance?
Yes, the servant's entrance.
Wait,
Where?
as you will.
On the side. There's
As
also there's an uncrowded park in the back as well if you wanted to possibly sneak in through that way as well. We have options, but we have to get through the gate and sneak around to go over there.
Where is this servant entrance?
The servant's entrance is on the side.
L'ambiance in the savants en trance. In France.
In France.
In France.
You have jokes, Michel, despite being inside the party.
Will's got some jokes on.
God damn it.
In the gate.
Says
Are
Perhaps-
there
perhaps the servant's entrance is the best route we should take. Was it crowded? Was there people there?
it was sparse as far as the entrance goes.
The sparse entrance, yes.
Sparse entrance of the servant's entrance.
We need to blow.
Like the main entrance gate, there are guards by that. Like
Yeah, there are guards that all around the front where the carriages are coming
Thank
out.
you,
There's
Colin. How
a
you
6
doing, buddy?
footman, and there appears to be like a chief valet that's kind of shooing the carriages back out. You do see that most of the guards are dressed very similar to the driver that Comte Fenelek had in his carriage, and who also Babin and Joseph dealt with at the Rue de Vive. And they seem to be very large gentlemen with the masks that kind of come up. And their presence, though, is located at the front of the estate. You didn't see anybody but servants off to the side of the estate and nobody behind.
would it be possible to sneak by them to get through the entrance?
It would be very difficult to go through the front door. If you entered the estate from one of the sides or the rear, it would be much better because you have cover of forest and foliage, and there's just less people.
Have y'all watched?
How far is the surveillance entrance from the big main gate?
From the main gate, you're looking at roughly about 500-600 feet.
Okay, that's a good bit of distance from the main gate.
Yeah, and that's all in the clear. If you go through the main gate, it's, imagine a very expansive, very palatial, almost southern plantation type of setup where you have a rolling driveway that goes up, circles around the front of the estate, and then rolls back out. It's very impressive. It's very much for show. However, on the sides and the rear, there's still a large element of forestry, of foliage, of decorative gardens. So there's a lot more cover on the sides and the back.
Have y'all watched the perimeter yet?
We have not.
We could see if there's any trees that lean over the gate, maybe, or lean over the walls. Maybe we can climb through that way.
Very good at climbing.
Yes. Welcome back, Christoph. Your advice is great.
Not
You could
not only pretty.
just mostly. That's fine.
Yeah.
So he kind of looks at everyone and says, then in that case, 2 by 2, yes? This way? This way. We'll meet in the rear.
Okay, you guys are going to split up. So you're going to
Yeah.
send 2 to the west, 2 to the east, and then just kind of go north and around.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'll take Dubois.
You take the Bois, And then Babin and Christoph. Which direction are Babin and Christoph going?
Oh, boy.
Right or left?
Which way?
Right's always right.
All right, let's do it right.
Until this time.
No.
Right. Okay, so you guys head to the right. Dupois and the sergeant head towards the left. You are able to keep in visual range until you round the corners and head to the north. And while you all are walking the perimeter of the Fenelick estate, we will switch back and reverse time just a few minutes to see the arrival of Martine and Michelle in front of the Comte Fenelick estate as Comte Fenelick tells them both, welcome.
Martine's gonna hold out a hand for him to kiss as if she is an aristo herself.
You're holding out a hand for Fenelick to kiss?
Yeah, if he's welcoming us.
Okay, he takes your hand as he pulls you out of the carriage, and he does in fact kiss it. And when he turns towards Michelle, he locks eyes with him. And Will, I would like you to roll a power roll for me.
Oh no.
But you get a nat 1 on it, so we'll go ahead and spend one of those bad boys right now.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Alrighty, and as you look into the eyes of Comte Fenelick, you are brought back to the night that you saw him just a few nights ago. And that hunger and that predatory nature in his eyes is still there, and it's locked on you. And without any type of confirmation, you know that he knows it's you. And as you're standing there, dumbstruck by the situation, you can't do anything but look away. And as you look away, he turns and moves his attention to Martine. And he says, do I know you? Have we met?
No, but it seems you know my companion.
I never forget a face.
Well, I must congratulate you as his face is exceedingly forgettable.
The Comte, partial sneer, partial smile, as he looks and has maybe perhaps a renewed interest in Martine, as he offers you his arm.
She's gonna take it.
Okay. As he walks forward, he says to you, have you heard about the boy prince?
No. I must say I'm not up on my gossip.
Oh, you
must
not?
fill me in.
The Dauphin has died. As in Paris, he is the crown prince of this great monarchy has passed from this world. He's completely ignoring Michelle at this time. Michelle,
everyone is.
Yeah,
Right.
I am moving into the room. I am like finding the buffet table, and I'm finding me some salami or something.
Okay,
Not
so
be finding an entrance to the house.
Right.
Is it not an entrance to the house in front of me? Are we not out of steps?
yeah,
or are we?
they're in
Side
front.
entrance.
Comte Fenelick and Martine are in front of you. You can trail them if you'd like as they're heading towards the main doors.
I'll take a look around.
Okay. You're able to stand there as the next kind of carriage rolls up. And let's cut back over to Martine and I keep wanting to say Joseph. Martine and Comte Fenelick as he...
Martine and Joseph can have a conversation together.
Right. And Comte Fenelick says, yes, the boy has died of consumption, it seems. Do you know his doctor?
No. Such a pity, though. You know, in such a circumstance, I almost feel bad going to a party.
Roll a charm because you do know.
I do know
Dr.
his doctor?
You know Dr. Regault,
Oh,
yep.
Shit, I do. Okay, like, character sheets are important. Charm. Do I have charm? A little bit of it. Do I have enough of it? No.
You could spend 18 luck should you desire to charm.
I feel like it's super important to lie to this guy.
Probably.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think he's gonna eat you.
I think he's gonna try to kill me, but let's
Or
get
take your
away.
flesh.
Yeah,
Vibe.
let's do it. Let's spin the luck and I'll take a pause to do whatever the math is.
Okay, so 18 luck has been spent. as for a moment Fenelic looks as if he doubts your words, but then maybe perhaps an additional rise of the eyebrow as he appreciates what he sees.
Just like looks into his face and goes, I'm so trustworthy.
It is the boy's doctor, Dr. Regault. Some say that he is dealing with corpses in the middle of the night, corpses that are themselves infected with the white plague of tuberculosis. It's a consumption that took the Dauphin. Perhaps that is exactly this type of negligence cannot go on. I will have to inform the Queen of my theory.
I
And-
highly doubt this. His own doctor. So negligent, don't you think?
A fool. If it is any other word, I would call him just that, a fool. And at this point, he walks into the front door, and you are gifted with the sight that I'm going to put up in roll 20.
Okay.
Of the Skinless Pope. And as you walk into the
Oh.
entrance area, you see, frozen in a state of both papal authority, a weird beauty, and utter horror, a skinless, papal draped figure with one hand extended upon which a fisherman's ring rests. Comte releases your arm, turns to you and says, "Kiss the ring. All of my guests must do so. You kiss the ring and never mention what happens here tonight."
Oh, I knew you were gonna make me kiss his hand. Kiss his hand. Oh.
Going through super quiet at the moment, Jules.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I guess she does it, right? Like, this is. I feel like a skinless pope is enough to convict him on. Let me tell you what. So let's kiss the lucky egg and get
Okay, before you do so, the mere
Okay, well,
sight of the skinless pope
I knew this.
requires you to roll a sanity check. We're going to go ahead and spend one of your nat 20s here or your critical failures here. Let's
Oh,
burn
great.
one of those ones. Yeah.
There he goes. Hope if you're out there watching, as I know you like to, not a good look for you. This, not a good look.
You lose 2 sanity as you look at the skinless visage of perhaps the Catholic Pope in all of his morbid, macabre splendor. And at this point, let's flash back to who the hell do we have outside? Michelle.
everyone else.
Everybody else. Michelle, what are you
Amen.
doing outside? You have the valets, you have carriages that are arriving, and aristocrats are jumping out. It is a very heavily trafficked area, as there are also the footmen that are there. 6 identically clad black masked figures that are basically ushering the carriages in and out and guarding the area.
Whew. Well, I'm gonna wait because I think he's too scared to follow in, Martine and the Comte, because fucking hell, that guy's got some eyes on him. So I'm gonna wait out here. I'm kind of gonna see if there's other guests drawing up and sort of tag along with, maybe a guest who's a little bit drunk, someone that he thinks he can probably get talking, or maybe a guy who looks like he drinks a lot. He does not wait to find a pretty young lady because Michelle doesn't. He lucked out last week, and that's all he's got in him, really.
It's funny that you should say that, because I'd like you to roll a luck roll, and let's see if in fact maybe the next carriage does hold somebody inebriated enough to take you under their wing.
Nope.
Nope. In fact, when the carriage opens, you see an older couple come out, and they seem to be stone cold sober. They are greeted this time by the valet as Comte Fenelic has gone inside with Martine. They are ushered quickly up the steps and seem to be going in, but now eyes seem to be drawn your way as you have not entered the estate yet. And the longer you linger here, the longer it's becoming more and more obvious that you're not where you're supposed to be. And as you're standing there looking around a bit, you hear from the loose shadows behind, off to the side of one of the marble staircases leading up, you hear a, "I don't think you belong out here, lad. Why don't you go on in?"
Yes, I will. And I'm gonna hastily head inside.
And as you turn and head inside, you catch a glimpse of the person that spoke to you. Slightly dark-skinned man standing there in a very odd-looking suit, as he seems to be holding something in his hand that he clips shut, puts into his pocket, and walks off into the shadows behind the estate. And as you walk in, you join Martine and the Comte in rolling a sanity check as you see the skinless Pope.
Yay.
Now, Greg, you said a fisherman's ring?
Fisherman's ring.
What is that?
A fisherman's ring is,
Yes.
I can meta this a little bit. You guys would probably know a fisherman's ring is the official ring of the Pope. Each Pope is assigned a fisherman's ring. It's a very Spartan. It's not like encrusted or anything like with jewels or anything like that, though some were. It is a flat ring that is used in, maybe even modern times. It's extended and people kiss the fisherman's ring. The odd thing, though, is that all fisherman's rings are destroyed whenever the Pope that wore them dies. So
Gotcha.
This is odd to have one here. But you wouldn't know that.
Right.
Okay, so as they all walk in, the other four of you, including Dupois, come around the back of the estate. You have found nothing of interest, no trees that seem to allow you to be able to easily climb over the walls. But in the very, very back of the estate, you do see that there is a outcropping of rock that was actually used to kind of support the wall, maybe at its initial construction, or it was too large to move at the time. And it would allow you probably to get about 2 or 3 feet closer towards the top of the wall and potentially climb over.
Did you find anything? I saw nothing on my end.
Nothing on our end either.
Perhaps the servant's entrance is the best choice after all.
Well, we have to get past the wall to get to the entrance.
Oh, I thought the entrance was into the wall.
No.
My
No.
bad.
No. This is
I
the
will
one
blow a hole.
main entrance.
Yeah.
We do not blow a hole.
I will blow a hole.
No,
You point to where you need a hole, and I will give you a hole.
no,
And this
I
is
don't-
way too loud because he's half deaf, right?
Yeah.
He reminds me of the guy from Atlantis. he
Etienne.
just carries around dynamite.
Going on a match.
Yeah, we do not we
Guys
don't need
with
a hole.
matching mustaches.
yeah.
Perhaps. Etienne, do you have your go-go gadget at hand?
I do.
Google gadget, pull up.
Hand. It's gage.
Perhaps.
It's a gage hand.
Gosh, go-go gadget. Get it at the Tajay. Perhaps we could. There's tree cover on the other side of the rear entrance, right? The rear side of the wall, right?
Correct. Yeah. If you guys are looking at the map, it is all the way up at the top by the L in the Fenwick estate.
Okay.
Whee!
Yeah, he says perhaps we could lift each other over the cover of the trees.
Be careful of the spike.
Yes, but they're distant enough that I think we could make that.
All right.
Get the lightest of us to sit on top, lift up and
Okay.
over.
I can't climb over.
Yes, we will pick you up. You will be the first one to go. And you draw that pistol that you cover for us. Yes.
I can cover you from here. I see. Shoot through
The
the.
problem is inside.
I
I
can
fear
shoot through
the
the.
danger.
It's a wrought iron fence.
It's a stone wall.
I lied. Okay.
It is a stone wall.
It is a solid stone wall
Yeah.
with spikes on the top of it.
Yeah.
Are
The
the
gate was
spikes-
wrought iron.
The entire scene here. All right, yeah.
Are the spikes far enough apart that we could possibly like get a handhold to like climb over, or are they
Oh,
like,
Absolutely.
they're
they're like
good.
4 or 5 feet apart. I mean,
Okay.
you can find a break in them easy.
All right.
we're heading-
So for sake of brevity, Greg, whatever roll we need to sit someone up on top of it so that we can easily pull someone and drop them over the side. And the last person kind of runs and grabs their hand and gets pulled over.
Sure. Who would like to do that? Who would like to be the first one over?
I think the first one over is Etienne, since he has one hand and can't lift anybody and can shoot like the Dickens.
Okay. So what I will do is we can do 2 separate rolls here. But what I will, since he's being lifted the whole way, let's do a combined strength roll by whoever's the strongest among you, and that person will get advantage in the strength roll.
Okay.
I have 65 strength.
I also have 65 strength.
So either way.
So like basically it would be the sergeant on the bottom pushing up, and then it would be Christoph on the top, sitting on top of the fence, lifting and then dropping him over.
I'll make
so whoever you want.
Okay, so that means Christoph's going first. Christoph,
Yeah, he's sitting on the
I'm
wall.
going up to like pull. Yes.
okay, well then Christoph, roll a climb roll for me.
Okay.
I'm so useless here.
Okay. Christoph
I have-
easily takes the top of the wall and is able to reach down. So with since you both have the same score, somebody roll a strength with advantage to get Etienne up and over.
I mean, I think Haley, you're on fire right now, so go
I'm
ahead.
not helping. I'm just like, lift me up.
Yeah, he's dead, total dead weight.
He holds one
He's like a
hand.
kid. He's like a kitten.
Christoph is like hot and strong. He's everything.
He doesn't even use
I'm
the other
so
hand. He just holds with the
He's
one
got
hand.
it all.
She
Mary Poppins,
succeeds.
y'all. Right. Okay.
Christoph
So
succeeds.
Christoph pulls Etienne over, and Etienne, you're the first to swing over into the estate proper. Roll me a dex check.
Yeah, dead weight all the way up, and as soon as I get over, I tuck and roll and like a badass.
This is when he falls and you're just
What
like,
am I doing? A dex?
10 feet's not
Yep.
bad.
Dex for me, please.
There you are.
Yeah, you land,
Like a
3-point stance. Perfect. Since everybody's stationed where they are, you're able to get over, and you ultimately, even with Dupois, you guys can all get over into the estate proper from the rear. Now, once you get over there, you are greeted with a large garden of overgrown roses. Now, the good thing about this is you can barely make out the lights of the estate, so you're going to have advantage on any stealth rolls you make here. You do notice that there are pockets of light throughout the garden. You can see lantern light, and it seems to be staged in different areas for potential conversation. If there's a clearing in the garden, a couple like stone benches, they will in fact have lanterns and whatnot over them, but they're easily avoided if you guys stay among the roses. Now, everybody roll spot hidden for me here real quick. Oh,
there
Haley
goes
fails.
my roll.
Right.
I
Boom.
want to roll for so well.
All right. So Etienne, as you look around, you're the first to notice actually that it's pretty easy in the dark to pick out rose bushes. They're very evident, and in France at the time, they were very common. However, with these rose bushes, there's a little bit different. You see that the actual roses themselves are black. Some are turquoise. Some are silver. Some are actually greener than the leaves and the stems surrounding them. In fact, you don't even see any that are red. They're just of every conceivable color beyond any shade of red. And you also identify blackberries, brambles, and thorns, which you alert everybody else so you can avoid sneaking through those. How would you guys like to proceed? You have a pretty good idea. You're at number 6 up here at the top. And you are looking around the gardens which extend to the south.
Why would you spend the time to dye all of the flowers?
Yeah, you notice that?
This incredibly strange. Why would you? Seems like a lot of effort for.
For like an abstract Queen of Hearts reference.
Yes. Louise Carroll. Perhaps we should proceed as quiet as possible. This,
All right. It's a good idea. Let's continue doing what we're doing. Yeah, I agree. I see why you're this logic.
Everybody roll stealth checks for me with advantage, please.
Sure.
Just let me know if you have 2 failures.
With advantage, just roll twice.
I have 2 failures.
What am
Actually, you know what? I lied. I'm going to spend 1 luck, and I have a success.
Okay.
Got 2 failure. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? Yep, 2 failures.
I succeeded. Real good.
Okay,
real good.
so as you guys are going through the rose bushes and kind of heading behind the hedges, Etienne at one point puts his good hand out and catches one of the barbs that are coming off the thorns of the rose bushes, and it drags a long gash along his hand, enough to give him 1 hit point worth of damage in this failed stealth roll. It doesn't alert anybody, doesn't make any sounds, but Etienne, you do realize that this gash on your hand doesn't seem to be binding. It's not coagulating. It's bleeding pretty profusely. And you're able to wrap it up and whatnot, but whatever you wrap it with quickly becomes soaked with your blood as this small prick is causing you quite a bit of problems, as most small pricks do.
I was gonna say a story of his
Right,
life.
Mike?
The Clockmaster would know.
Well,
That's right, level 1. Anywho, as you guys make it through there, you do see a statue in front of you. You will have to enter the light to take a better look at it, though. But at this point, let us flash back to the inside as we are before the skinless Pope. Comte Fenelick is standing off to the side, ignoring the Michelle who just entered. Michelle, between you, Comte Fenelick, and Martine are the elderly couple that just arrived in the carriage before you. Martine, you are faced with the skinless Pope. What would you like to do?
On a sanity fail, does she have to react badly?
No, you were able to feel. The only time you, if you lose more than 5 sanity in one go, or if you lose a 1/5 of your sanity over the course of like an adventure, which I believe for each of you guys is right around, the lowest is 11 and the highest is around 15. So keep track of your cumulative sanity loss, and whenever you get in double digits, let me know. I'm keeping track of it as well. So you're down 2 already. We shall proceed accordingly. No, but as you're standing there, you are told to kiss the ring. And because you're kissing the ring is somewhat customary here, or is the norm at the state of Comte Fenelick, you're required to do so.
Ew, so gross. Okay. Yeah, she's gonna do it. She's gonna like look over at Michelle and be like, fuck is this? And look at the old people and see if they're looking like totally normal. The people who just came in look like nothing's wrong.
They look like aristocrats, and in fact, as your hesitation or your look back at Michelle, they take this moment to move past you, and one at a time, they take the extended, skinless hand of the Pope, they kiss the ring, the woman kisses the ring, and they enter off into a side hall.
These guys are they like wearing outfits from out of like fucking Beetlejuice, you know, or are they wearing like?
No, they look like you would have thought that they just came off of the courtyards or the halls of Versailles. They're perfectly normal looking.
Versailles.
Yes.
Versailles. Yeah.
So Martine is gonna look over at the Comte and say, I have never met the Pope before. How exciting. And she's gonna walk up and do a little curtsy and kiss the ring and touch the hand.
Okay. As you take the hand, it feels wet beneath your fingertips, as if it is in fact freshly skinned.
Orgasm.
And as you move forward to kiss it, just as you're ready to place your lips upon the ring, one of the fingers reaches up and gently caresses your chin.
Oh,
just as you get there. I'd like you to roll another sanity check for me.
Who does that?
At this point when she's doing this, I am moving into
whether
the room.
or not they have skin, apparently.
I'm following the old couple. I'm going to the old guys. I'm getting out of here.
Okay, sanity.
Fish hook.
Success.
This is my Pope hand.
Okay. Okay.
Absolute success. I got a success on that one.
Okay, so you lose 1 sanity regardless. So you're down to 3 for the episode so far.
No, the other sanity I lost. I've only lost 2 this episode.
You lost 2 and you just lost another one.
Wait,
Even with that success, you lose 1.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Wait, shit. Couldn't remember. Okay, there we go.
Okay. I would also like you to roll a power roll for me, please.
Oh, great. power. What's that?
Unlimited
At the top.
Oh, it's at the top.
Yeah.
unlimited.
Lightning just comes from his fingers.
Oh, whatever.
Nice.
I am the
She
Senate.
put on her good lipstick, and her eyeliner is on point. So this Pope can suck a nut.
Okay, you know what? I'm not sure how foreign or how bad an insult you think that is for the Pope to suck a nut. I mean, that might be right up this Pope's alley. So anywho, when you succeed on this power roll, you begin to feel like the prick of needles in your brain, as it's almost a physical sensation of exploratory surgery as you feel metallic implements in your mind, and you're able to fend them off. And at the last moment, when you think that they found purchase, your consciousness clears and you shake your head from the effect. And when you look over, the comp's eyebrows are raised very high. And again, the look in his eye appears to be one of respect more than anything else.
He's gonna eat you so much.
And Michelle,
We're gonna have little comped babies and take over France. That's a new
He's like, you kissed my skinless Pope and you weren't freaked out. She's into it. She's into it.
we found her, everyone.
Guys, you heard it here first.
He's been
You heard it
testing
here
people
first.
with
He's
his
kissed my skinless Pope. That's the new encounter roleplay double
slogan.
entendre.
That's
Would you like to?
Also, Greg, you get 2 nat 1s for this disgusting image. Fan Yogsgas. Get fucked.
Okay, so I get 2 nat 1s to deploy at my leisure.
At your leisure, yeah.
Okay.
No
Excellent.
kink shaming.
That's right.
By the way, Greg, while she's doing that, I would really like to follow the old people through and just kind of sneak
Wait,
them.
no, he's gotta kiss the Pope too. Hold on.
No, I'm not fucking
Okay, no.
kissing your Pope, alright? That's your Pope.
She's
I will allow you to do this, Will. Let us. You roll me a stealth check, and this is going to have to be a hard or an extreme result.
Let's use this nat 20 on this one, shall we?
Okay.
I am not kissing your skinless Pope, Jules, okay?
refuse.
Okay, so you burn your nat 20,
There
and
it
you're
goes.
able to, as they kiss, the Comp Fenelic is so interested
Into it.
and enraptured. Yeah, he's really into. He's never seen a skinless Pope work
Off
quite
lust.
this way before.
Oh,
And it's something that it boggles the mind and drags the eye, and
Like in his vision, it's slow-mo and like sexy jazz is playing.
he's literally hearing Christopher Cross in his mind as his tongue works its way around his lips as he's watching this. No. Anyway, you're able to sneak in. So as you sneak in, Martine, as you look up, Comte Fenelic is standing there, and he extends his hand and shows you towards the double doors that lead into the adjoining hall. He appears not to be following you, though.
I'm gonna go on into the hall and get away from the Pope.
Okay,
I think Martine is gonna convert to Judaism after this.
as
That's
Martine
on her
is
to-do list.
right, as Martine is walking in, and Michelle, as you snuck in behind the older couple, the first thing that hits both of your ears when you walk into this room is the sound of whipping and the sound of screaming. But let's cut back to everybody else in the garden.
One of those parties.
Right. This is
I'm sorry,
I forgot to bring a set of keys to put in the bowl beside the door.
Yeah, the most worrying thing about this was the fact that the old couple just walked in there, and then I hear whipping.
No, they didn't just walk in, man. They rolled in, like up the steps, kissed, and were in. Like they didn't want to miss a second.
I paused
And I
for 5
don't
seconds,
want to
and
miss
they
a
were like,
thing.
Blackness matters. Mr. Weed.
Great
I appreciate that
sound.
Will stayed silent, and then the rest of the Americans were like, "Oh, that party! Now we've all been there."
And then, specifics were dropped. The bowl full of keys,
Well, I'll
Not
tell
to
you what,
upset
guys.
the
I'll
delicate
tell you what,
British
guys.
sensibilities.
When I get
He's
to
a
America,
sex icon, but he's a Call of Cthulhu virgin.
when I get to America, I'll join you guys in that party. But right
yeah, come
now,
hang out, man.
Y'all Canadians get wild. I don't know, man.
Very good. I think
Uh,
we need safe words for this party. Is kumquat a good one for you?
Kumquat. There
What
you go.
about-
mine is skinless Pope. I have to.
You don't know how often that's going to be used, though.
Yeah, that's
My
true.
go word
That's
is Skimmer's
true.
Pulp.
My go word. My green light.
You just walk in, skinless Pope.
Out comes the whip.
No.
My face hurts.
So I see a statue, Greg. What is it?
It's all too close to
Yeah,
Are you
home.
getting are you getting out of the light?
Right.
Too
Yeah.
many-
So you guys, in the background, as you guys are creeping through, and Etienne is trying to figure out how to stop the flow of blood from his hand, you guys do see a statue that seems to be very prominently displayed in the middle of the area. You figure just stepping briefly out into the light would enable you to take a good look at it.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, I will also step out like a few paces away so that we're not all.
Are
In
you
the same
sure?
area. Yeah, I only have 8 nat ones. It's fine.
You're fine.
Okay, so as you step out and take a look, you see a picture or a statue of the baby Icarus, which is, a Greek version of Cupid. And as you look and see, it takes you a second to realize there's something a little bit different from this Cupid than any of the other ones that you've seen depicted in pictures or carvings before. This one has what appear to be leathery bat wings coming off of its back. And in addition to that, its throat is slit. And even in the stonework, the stone itself seems so realistic that you can actually see a partially bisected windpipe inside the stone itself. And as you look at it, it's disturbing enough for me to ask the two of you to roll a sanity check for me.
Son of a bitch, dude.
Nailed it.
There it is.
Okay, and as this is just a statue and not really a real person, you do roll lose one sanity for me here. All right, so as you guys are taking a look at it, you realize that this type of artwork, this type of depiction or statue is borderline blasphemy in that it is very, very dark. It's not something that would be promoted or looked favorably upon by the government that is currently in charge. This is borderline obscene, but it's not something that could convict the Comte yet. You may continue towards the estate should you desire.
Yeah, instinctually, Renault just kind of looks over and says, Michel, take this shit. I sent him inside. Remember this. Commit this to memory. We must. This will do well to prove our case.
We might need more, but we can find more inside.
We sure will. Let us go. And we continue moving.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have everybody roll those stealth checks again. And Mike, you failed.
Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bleeding from the hand? Is that what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're bleeding from your good hand.
I wasn't paying attention to that. What happened?
You hit a thorn.
Yeah,
Oh.
on your failed stealth check resulted whenever you reached over and basically clipped yourself on one of the thorns from the multicolored and odd roses. And it is not binding, it's not coagulating. The flow is continuing to actually intensify a bit at this point.
Right. 2 one hands coming at you.
I
Incoming.
have a disembodied hand if you want it.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, not yet you don't.
No, I don't have that yet.
Not yet. Okay, so as you guys are walking farther in through the garden, the sergeant's making quite a bit of racket, but there doesn't seem to be anybody back here at this time. You get closer and closer to the estate, kind of winding through the back row of hedges, and you come upon another statue. This one is very close to the estate. In fact, the statue itself opens up into a courtyard that has steps that lead up towards the side of the house. You're going to probably have to go this way anyway to get closer to the estate, but I will need, and I'm not going to do anything nat 1 wise, I need you guys to roll some stealth checks. If you want to, look at the statue and continue on to the house. So the stealth check is to make it past the statue to the house.
You still have advantage for that?
Not at this point, no. You will be leaving the cover of the bushes, so you are actually hitting bare ground as you kind of make a run for it.
Nope.
I mean, I technically already rolled when you said it the first time, so can I just keep that one?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Everyone?
Yep. Let's see. Babin.
Babin. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so as Kristoff and Babin head forwards, they make it all the way to the house and kind of lean up against the wall as they get to the house. But Sergeant Renaud, as you're running, your eyes are drag over and you look at the statue that is currently there, and you realize as you come around the corner that this statue is actually a fountain. And as you're watching the water that's kind of peeling off and going down it, you see that there is a pinkish tint to the water. And as you look up the statue, it seems to be a depiction of the Madonna with child, but instead the Madonna has a huge distended mouth, rows of razor sharp needle teeth, as the Madonna is biting down on the head of the infant. And the water features are actually bleeding out and pouring down the child into the pool. I'd like you to roll a sanity check for me, please.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And we'll take a nat one there too.
You know,
What?
Greg?
That one insanity. You're just gonna run out of everything. What? Okay.
So that's a hit for 4 to you.
Let me counterpoint. It's Mike.
Right.
Okay, you know, that's rude.
But am I wrong?
We're going to burn through some of these. We're gonna make this. We're gonna hop 2 here. Make this work. So as you look and you see it, you freeze in place as you're hit for a 4-point sanity loss, which was 1 point away from giving you a temporary insanity. So as you look and you see this horrible depiction of the Madonna with child, even in your frozen state of mind, you realize this is blasphemy of the highest order. And that with this fountain, you have probably enough evidence to at least garner investigation. Perhaps not enough for a full-scale assault and arrest, but this is a very important piece of evidence. Now, Babin and Kristoff, as you guys slide against the wall and kind of sink down into the shadows of the house, it is just at that moment that one of the black-caped, black-masked guards, the footman, comes around the corner, smoking from a pipe, and looks up with half the mask pulled down, the skinless face exposed, and it sees the dumbfounded or the sanity-struck sergeant staring at the statue of the Madonna with child, and you can tell by the realization in those yellowy eyes that this person realizes that the sergeant is not supposed to be here, and he begins to reach for a saber.
I shoot him.
You want to shoot him?
No. Oh no.
Are you sure?
Oh wait, we're supposed to be
But I can
quiet.
do it.
Just be quiet. Kristoff would pull out his saber and go for the man.
Le sabre. Okay, with a Zutalor, you strike. So are the two of you striking with your silent weapons then, or are you in fact shooting them? Etienne Babin.
It's hard for me not to. Clap.
What the merde should I do?
Not shoot him. I'll tell you what.
I have an axe, which would be fucking cool. Just tomahawk. I'm gonna go tackle him.
You should tackle him.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's got the higher dex score? Let me see. Kristoff and Babin, what are your dexterity scores?
70.
Damn it.
You go, if it's lower than 70, Kristoff goes first. You guys get one sneak attack on this guy, and then we'll see exactly how it's going to play out. But if you want to attack, roll an attack for me.
Nothing.
No.
I will allow you to use a crit success if you'd like here.
You know, yeah. Feel like
Okay.
it. Let's do it.
Good. We'll just sweep those away. Sweep them away. Okay, so with a 6 damage, you with a 6 damage, you're able to jump out and you actually run the assailant through with your saber up to the hilt. And for a moment, your eyes are mere inches away from this incredibly skinned and maimed face as the yellow eyes roll towards yours and they widen in pain, and you hear the intake of breath into the body as Babin moves forward. What do you want to do, Etienne?
I will tackle him. Tackle.
Tackle.
Tackle. Tackle bleu.
Tackle bleu.
Okay, if you're going to attack, roll a brawl for me, please.
Brawl.
A brawl. Le brawl.
The brawl.
Guys. Where's
It should be right above your weapons.
Fighting brawl, right?
Yeah, fighting brawl.
Look for Fs.
Oh,
Yeah, fighting brawl.
Or if you go down to where your weapons are located, it'll be the top. There you go.
3 off.
You can spend 3
You
luck.
can spend 3
Lock
luck.
that shit.
That shit. I spent 18 luck. Do it.
Okay.
Lock it.
I want to spend 3 luck.
Tres, trois. Luck. Okay, so as you run forward and you mean to tackle this person to the ground, you get there a half beat after Christoph runs the assailant through with their saber. And as soon as the saber goes through, as you tackle, you drive the saber the rest of the way in as you drop to the ground. And as you roll off, the saber actually slides back out as it punches from the rear and extends back out through the gut. And the intake of breath that went into the man comes back out, not as a scream as it would have, but as just a long sigh.
Oh, Babin, you're so big.
Cockmaster,
Cook this.
you are a worthy adversary, Will.
The student becomes the master.
Now I am the cockmaster.
I'll handle it.
That is my
Alright, so
least
I,
favorite will voice. My least favorite
26.
will voice ever.
Oh, I don't know. I love it.
I stand up and then take this swab. Sabre.
The sabre is Christoph, so you can return it to Christoph if you'd like, or you can be a
No.
dick and keep it, right?
Malut. Haha.
I like my rapier.
Here you go. I'm gonna,
What do you
Yeah.
rapier?
Rapier.
is he masked?
He had it partially down, and his pipe, which is now kind of burning errantly beside him, it does expose the fact that he is skinless as well.
He's skinless. Dude.
Also,
Alright,
Haley gets another pet from Forbrand here.
Right, who does?
We can give her another hand.
Haley.
Can I listen to two
So she can be a doctor.
Do an idea.
Well, hold on. Oh, we've got a hand ready, but what's the other pet? Why don't you go ahead and roll it so we know what we're getting
What is roll
D100.
D100? Okay. Please see another 6.
A clockwork badger, which can dig. Yeah,
I got a badger, guys.
dig speed 30 feet. Pretty dope. Let's fucking steampunk a badger.
Yeah. All badgers of steampunk. Let's be real.
But I'm not in Hufflepuff.
here. Oh boy.
Right now.
Oh boy. Sanity check for Greg.
I have to ask you to leave now. Okay. All right. So as you guys are there, you have the body of the creature getting colder and not older. What would you like to do with it as the sergeant is now able to kind of come back?
Want to hide it in the bushes.
I am gonna start undressing it, and I want to dress up as this masked man.
With the skinless?
Yep.
That's very
Gotta
unhygienic
be
of you.
slimy in there. You know it.
Babin's not a bright guy,
Like
is
a
he?
wet fish.
He's not bright.
Let's pretend he's not bright. Sure. Okay. We can do that.
All the time, man.
I do that all the time.
Let me check and see what Babin. You have a disguise roll somewhere, don't you?
Yeah.
Yep. It's awful.
Yeah, we can do it.
I believe in Babin.
So since everything was quiet and there was like a little scuffle that happened, the sergeant kind of snaps over and he says, What is this? What is the meaning of this? What happened?
What's this? Fighting in the air.
What
You were
is
reckless and we almost
this?
got caught. So we handled it.
I
What?
had
I don't remember any of this.
27. 28.
We handled it.
I
29.
I don't remember any of this. I was enraptured by this disgusting fountain.
Don't look at that. Don't look.
Don't look. It is
Don't look.
mind bending. Understand? I believe this fountain in itself is enough to convict, or at least cause an investigation for the Fenwick's take. Perhaps we should see what's inside and get Joseph, Michelle.
All right. Let me get this scarf off this man.
Good.
Okay, we'll just say that you're able to get everything off, and as expected, the outfit is sort of internally damp, as if the skin's
Is it cold or is it wet? I don't know.
it's a pleasant warm,
Moist.
but it is getting a little colder as you put it on. Because you have seen one of these people before, you're not going to have to roll any sanity checks, but this is disconcerting to you, Babin, as you put on this dead man or dead thing's clothes. You are able to pull up the mask and
New goal. I want to be one.
right.
He's one with the skins.
I want to be one of these flayed people.
All right. So, popular. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and try to. Well, disguise. Here we go. Yes, nailed it.
Nailed it. You're so good. 10 out of 10.
You want to spend 33 lug?
I'm not. I'm not doing that.
Are you sure?
It's a wooden arm sticking out of it.
Right. Yeah. That's the part of it, is that this person's outfit seems to have a little bit shorter sleeve, perhaps, than what Babin is used to, and it exposes a little bit too much of the wooden hand.
Ruined by the short sleeves.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You got a guy with like 3/4 sleeves. You know, he was making a statement, but it didn't really work out real well for him. So you're going to have to kind of hide that aspect of you, which will lower your ability to blend in fully with the other footmen. You guys do, however, hear the windows of the estate are open, and you hear the crowd seems to be gathered from several windows down on the western side of the building.
Should we proceed?
Probably
Alright.
the
What are you
survives
right now?
entrances.
Someone else.
The Servants in Trance.
Servants and Trance. I almost forgot how it was pronounced. It's like the Servants and Trance is this way.
Yeah, the open windows would take you towards where you saw the servant entrance.
Servants and
Robin,
Trance.
do you feel confident with your disguise? Could you procure at least 2 more for us? Perhaps they're inside.
I feel great. It's comforting as well as moist.
Good. Perhaps you should put your hand inside the robe.
Like this.
Yes. The man you slain did not have a wooden hand.
Perfect. I will do it. I will do this.
What is this move here?
Fucking walks around with like looking like Napoleon for the rest of the episode.
Okay, so as you guys walk down, you come to the nearest window, and as you get closer, you can hear the sounds of whipping and the sounds of screaming. Yeah, there's whipping and there
Smiting.
is a few neighing, right? As you guys get down there, we're going to cut back to Martine and Michelle. Oh dear God, is that another
That's
pet
another
that's just come
pet
in?
for Christoph now as I'm a
Gonna have all pets. Gonna have a zoo by the end of this.
When Kristoff goes insane, he's just gonna leave the party and be like, I'm opening the zoo.
Right, Christoph, go ahead and roll that so we know what we have.
You walk in.
That's the
21.
21.
You get an animated sapling. It can blend in perfectly with trees as long as it closes its eyes and mouth, stands still, and and is on a spot that would normally grow such a tree. You get little Groot, basically.
You get a Groot.
I have a Groot.
A badger and a Groot in a hand.
Climb that damn fence.
Okay. Jesus, this is gonna be fun to work in, guys.
Woohoo!
All right.
Keep at it.
Right. So as you guys round the corner and we go back into Martine and Michelle, they see the following. If you guys check out Roll 20.
Well, that's not what I expected.
I love that
There we go.
this handout is entitled Whipping Party.
That lady like in the background.
Oh,
Like
she is
that's
fair.
me.
Yeah, me though. This guy is Michelle on the day where
Right. So as you guys
I imagine that's what Joseph looked like up until recently. This Joseph looks like right now, and Jeff's just dude face.
Totally. Well, I think that's what Michelle thinks is going on.
Yeah.
Michelle's like, shit, this is the party for Joseph's people.
you walk in and Michelle's on the table.
Art's amazing, man. Jeez.
God,
That's dope.
amazing.
Okay, so as you guys walk in, the three of you, four counting Dupois, peek in through the windows. And Michelle and Martine, you guys walk in through the main double doors right behind the older couple. As you walk in, you see the following. You see a man dressed up like Marie Antoinette climbing over a huge table full of sweetmeats and vegetables and potatoes. Wine is flowing everywhere. There is a woman dressed up like the king, and the woman is currently snapping a bullwhip at Marie Antoinette's ass every 30 seconds or so, cutting through the garment and drawing a line of blood along the man's exposed legs and ass as he's kind of climbing over the food. In addition to this, as you walk in, very similar to what was alluded to earlier with a bowl of keys, people are drinking and fucking everywhere. You see people bent over the table. You see people pouring wine, expensive vintages, just sloshing it and spitting it into one another's mouths, as this is a full-on scale of gluttony, of the true evolution of Sodom and Gomorrah, as this is the extent and this is the depravity of the very worst of the aristocracy in France. Everywhere it is going on, everywhere it is happening. And to make matters worse, the cover that you had in front of you of the old woman and the old man, they immediately peel off, and you see the old man begin to kiss another gentleman full mouth, and you see the woman grab a knife and drag it along the ass of Marie Antoinette, opening up a line that would require stitches in today's age from like buttocks to almost the back of the knee. And as the man dressed as Marie Antoinette squeals, everyone stops what they're doing, turns and cheers and howls in ecstasy absolute. You two walk in. There is no sign of Comte Fenelick. I'd like you to roll sanity checks.
For clarity, Will, most of the parties don't end like that.
Yeah.
Often they begin that way.
We won't take you to that party when you come to America.
If anybody is interested to hear a great comment, Ooze just put one up in chat. You may roll for a specific something or other, which
I
I think
passed
is
my sanity check. Roll for anal strike.
Ice passed as well. Michelle's like, yup. Michelle's on the table. He's like, 27, 28.
Okay, so as you all walk in, this continues, and you see that there is a predatory nature to every aspect of this. If somebody reaches for food, somebody else might take a fork and just jam it, even though they had no interest at all in perhaps this piece of meat, this piece of cheese, and maybe a bizarre standoff, a very animalistic tug of war would go on with this piece of meat as these two aristocrats, proportioned to be nobility above the peasantry, the enlightened, are acting like absolute savages. Primal instincts are prevalent. There is no civilization in this room. And as you all are stopping and watching all of this, you notice that eyes begin to turn towards the two of you, as you are neither drinking nor are you doing anything else.
Oh no,
Martin's
Martin's drinking. Let's hold on.
I look towards
Martin's
Yeah.
first action is to grab a very big glass of wine and down it
Yeah,
all.
I think Michelle
And
does
hand
the same.
another one to Michelle and blends in.
No, what is?
She's gonna like push him towards the couple that's going at it.
You're gonna push him towards like the nearest
He's gonna
couple.
grab a glass of wine and drain it, and then just pat him on the back and give him a shove toward a couple.
I close my eyes and think of France.
For France.
Le Français!
There was once a rhyme that I heard as a child is, I see London, I see France. Pull down your underpants.
I take the wine, but I'm gonna try. Like I sway towards them, and I'm gonna sway right back to Martine. Haha! I wave politely to the couple.
Martine's gonna take. Wait, no. Yeah, Martine's gonna take this opportunity to smack him across the face because it would perfectly blend in, and she's gonna say, "What are you doing?" Go blend.
Okay, so with the strike, roll me a fighting brawl for me, please.
Oh, damn! How do I do that?
In your list of weaponry at the very top, it should say fighting brawl.
I've got. Oh yeah, I've got unarmed.
Acts in this room that only France.
Oh, very big success. This is gonna be great. People are gonna love this shit. I'm gonna accidentally start a situation where everyone beats up Michelle.
Okay. So where before it was just the Marie Antoinette soul that is being physically abused, you lay a fucking smack across Michelle's face. It does 1 point of damage to him because it is just extreme and vicious.
Did
Michelle,
I lose some teeth?
yeah, no, it doesn't knock any teeth out, but Michelle, you taste the coppery flow of blood in your mouth, and as it kind of rolls down your cheek, you all notice that the nearest people have turned and looked, and that predatory instinct, that smell of blood, that hunt comes through, and they all look, and there's lust in their eyes when they look at Martine, and there is a look of predatory superiority when they look at Michelle. Michelle has become the elk in a room full of lions at this point.
I immediately launch towards Martine and start kissing her.
What? No.
I look back at the group, like the sweaty people that are trying to eat me, and I'm like, this is happening.
Start freedom kissing her.
Okay, so what I would like you to do is, are you going to resist this, Martine?
No, because we have
first
to
she
blend
does,
in,
and
and she was helping
She's a married woman.
I'm a married woman.
Right. Okay. So let me figure out what the
You just
fuck
hear
to roll.
Nancy.
Hey,
like,
what
in the
roll is that,
background.
What roll is the? What do you roll to suck face?
You're married, man.
Give me a second to figure this shit out for just a
I feel
moment.
like
Roll to
I
suck
feel like
face?
accounting. Right. I think it's accounting.
Yeah. Navigate that tongue in that mouth.
Yeah,
It's
it's
drive auto.
natural worlds.
That's it. It's natural world. Right.
can Martine roll a deception check to pretend like she's enjoying it?
I'm gonna
No.
roll a mech repair on this one.
Can we roll a persuade to persuade that dress off? Is that what we're
Operate
doing? What's
heavy
happening right now?
machinery.
Here's what
There we go.
We're gonna say that you're able to get the kiss
Oh, God.
and do the kiss and succeed in actually touching lips with her, but I want you to roll an appearance check to see how everyone else views it. If you can convince them that this is your kink, that this is what the two of you like to do,
Oh.
smack around and
Yeah, smack me and then kiss me.
yeah. So go ahead and roll appearance for me, Will, and we'll.
I'm not ready.
Don't worry, Will. There's no kink shaming in this party, man. You got this.
It's an
Oh,
animal
wait, I
handling.
spend free luck on this. Oh my god, free luck is being spent on this one. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Oh.
So with a moment's hesitation where it almost looks like you're gonna, like knock front teeth or it's just not gonna be pulled off, at the last second, Michelle with a burst grabs the back of Martine's hair and pulls her head back as he lays into her, and the blood that was spilling from his mouth drips down Martine's face and down her neck, and there are actually cheers, very slight, the inhalation and exhalation of.
So the comp is already planning our wedding at this point, is what you're saying.
Yes, and Michelle has
He's
just
really
proven
good.
himself to be a good
Dirty dog.
performer at this game.
I'm gonna officiate.
Like, Comp is
Okay.
in his room getting ready for you later.
Can I do like a sly look around the room to see if there's another exit?
Yes, while you're getting laid into by.
She's like, oh, good lord. He's
Right.
like, I mean, it's
But-
convincing that he likes it, but he's like literally slobbering blood all over her.
Yeah, Michelle is like, he's panicked. He's like panic kissing.
He's like,
And probably what we do is, yeah. It's like a dog.
and Martine's like,
It's like sweating so bad.
Martine is looking for an exit strategy.
He whispers
Like
in
a
your ear,
spot hidden.
hide me from them.
Okay, so
Oh my
you,
god, she has enough room. She has room for like 7 people under her skirt. She should just be like, hide under here. If it's got underwear on, it's fine.
There's at least 7 people that would do that in this room.
right? Oh, you would have a line forming, right? Martine,
Everything.
Martine, I want you to roll me a spot hidden, but I want you to do so with a hard. You're gonna need a hard or an extreme success if you want this to be subtle. If you want to be able to do this in conjunction with what.
Can she look around the room like she likes that people are watching? Can that be a thing?
Okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah, like if she's looking
Get my
around, like.
success. I have a success. Can I look around? Not like I'm looking for an exit, but I'm like, yeah, that's right, fuckers. I like you watching.
Hey, you have convinced me. That is an
Cool.
excellent way to make that work. Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, now the 3 people that are outside, Babin, the Sergeant, Christoph, I want them all to roll spot hiddens as well.
Oh my god, she just watched Oh man, they're looking through the window. They're like, what are those 2 doing?
I feel like the sergeant
What is he
is just
doing
gonna
to
get
her?
confirmed that like Joseph is the official worst soldier in the world at this point.
I am not enjoying this. Okay.
I just want her to have a son. It's like I didn't agree to this.
Okay, so the sergeant is still kind of, his mind is preoccupied with the blasphemy of the statue of the Madonna and Child. And as he's trying to shake out that image, which is just not coming unstuck from his brain, Christoph and Etienne kind of pull themselves up and peek into the window just at the moment that they see first the slap, and then they see Michelle lunge and lay in to Martine. And you guys are witness to the blood coming out, and you've seen everything that they see at this point. You see the people fucking, you see the wine flowing. And I would like you all to roll sanity checks as well as you witness.
Damn it.
the
I
fucking
feel like
thought you were
Christoph
gonna
should have
forget.
advantage on this since he spends a lot of time with the ladies.
It's like, it's fine for you guys until you see Michelle and Martine and you're like, oh god, sanity check.
Oh god, no!
Yeah, right, everything's fine until.
It's like seeing it. Michelle's like
At
a
least we
son.
know that Michelle has some balls.
I've been replaying this in my mind ever since.
Well, you missed last week, Haley, and Michelle almost kissed this girl in the gardens.
She went from almost kissing a girl to forcibly kissing a girl in very little time.
That's a very
It's-
creepy
it's-
step there.
It's not
From
entirely-
almost kissing a girl to a full-on sex party. It was like, this is a bad day.
What have I done? This is a bad
Where
decision.
am I?
Right, but, you know, Prince Charming to like the current commander-in-chief.
My mom told me to stay away from these girls, and now here I
I
am.
must grab her right by the pussy.
Oh god.
Let me grab the pussy. Right. Okay. Anyway, so as you guys,
Somehow lay pussy sounds way worse.
le poussoir.
Bonsoir.
The pussy boots.
Oh,
It's the
God.
one.
It is Lashat, isn't it? Yeah, it is Lashat. Yeah, no, if you say that's what it is. Like, you're
Oh,
basically
God.
calling
Welcome to Encounter Roleplay, everyone. Have you heard of our sponsors,
Like,
Dear Dice?
Yeah, if you haven't been
Yeah.
here before, I guess it's time to leave. So go
Yeah.
ahead.
Goodbye, everyone. All the viewers are like, uh-huh.
If you're watching on YouTube, my name is Redundant UK.
Yep.
No.
If you're watching on YouTube, I don't have a name because I would like to have a job one day.
Right. Your face will be blurred out. Like,
My name is
What was he
Martine. That's it.
Okay, so as you guys look in and you see all this going on, just as kind of everybody's eyesight converges, Martine, you do notice that there is a double door towards the north of this room. And just as you kind of notice that, the door blows open and Comte Fenelick walks in. And because you were watching it just as it happened, you realize that his hands did not touch the door as it opened into the room. His hands are clasped behind him.
Does he see me seeing him?
He's looking right at you as the
She's
blood
gonna
is
wink
running
at
down
him.
your face. You opened it
He's
with
gonna
what?
She's gonna wink at him. She's gonna be like,
I want you to roll a
Nice.
power check.
damn.
Succeed. I need
Please,
you
I
to
hope.
succeed.
Does anybody out there want to give me a nat 20 before I roll this pouch?
I bet they don't. But now they're gonna give you nat ones.
7 nat ones. No, those are all for you.
Yeah.
They are all
Oh,
for you.
don't ever ask chat for anything.
Yep.
We'll give you
No,
the
I'm gonna get,
opposite.
like,
I didn't ask for anything. I got 3 pets.
Yeah, everyone's about to donate
Whatever,
to
I
transfer my
can do it
ones to you.
anyway. I have to we're getting married next month. It'll be April. It'll be lovely.
If she marries him,
Classy. It'll be
does,
classy.
does that change the whole thing that happened in the future?
Yeah, we write out. This is canon, so
we
write
rewrite
out.
Horror on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
That's it, right.
Yeah.
We get a redo.
I would like to introduce you to Martine Macriat, right? Okay, so as you lock eyes with the Comte, you realize that you can feel that presence, you can feel that invasion, and you're able to stop it. And as he looks, again, you see the eyes go wide, and you can tell that they track down your jaw to where the blood's dripping off, and you see him inadvertently lick his lips as the tongue comes out and wraps around each corner of his mouth.
Wait,
as he
hold on.
wraps-
How long? Oh, sorry. Your hand was right here, and I was like, "What? Does he have a lizard tongue?"
No,
He's got
not
a Gene
Gene
Simmons tongue. It's
Just
Don't worry
licks,
about
it
it.
licks around his whole
Wraps
face.
right around.
Right?
He's like,
Like a dog in a
Well.
cartoon.
It's right here.
Oh,
Just
no.
right here. I wanted to continue talking, so. You motherfuckers. Okay. All right. So as he walks in, he stops, and the whipping stops on the poor Marie Antoinette.
and like,
And
he's gonna like kind of gently push, Michelle off of her. She's like, "That's enough. That's enough."
Oh,
right, yeah,
Thanks to God.
Grapes of blood.
yeah. There's blood smeared over both of your mouths, as you know. There's one line going down Martine's face. There's the trickle that went forward on Michelle's face. But you all look like, you've just had a run-in with a tube of lipstick that just was not in your day, just all over your faces, and it's drying and it's smeared. And as you wipe it, it smears a little bit more, and everyone kind of is looking at the two of you with a measure of respect and admiration. But everyone, everyone stops what they're doing, and Comte Fenelick walks forward to the woman that was doing the whipping, the one that was dressed like the king, and continues to be dressed like the king. And he looks around and he motions towards the queen, and everybody looks, and he says, "So beautiful and so doomed. Continue." And he grabs the ankle of Marie Antoinette as the man begins to try to pull away, and he rips with an unearthly strength off the top of the table, throwing the much heavier man to the ground. As the crowd circles and begins to kick, punch, bite, drop a chair onto the back. The king pulls back and stands beside Comte Fenelick as they watch this massacre begin. And he looks over at the two of you. Sergeant, Christoph, and Babin, you all witness this occurring as well, as you see this person dressed like Marie Antoinette getting savagely beaten just off of the table. And you do see Comte Fenelick and the woman dressed as the king turn and look at your companions.
Hello? What is this? This is terrible. Why are they beating that man? I don't understand. This is depravity at its finest. This will be enough to cause investigation. This will be enough to bring the Fenelek house down. How do we get Michelle out? How do we get Joseph out? Shit.
I will shoot them.
No, do not shoot them. There's too many of them.
All right, I won't shoot them.
It will take too long. I did, however, entertain the idea of blowing up this entire room, but again, Michelle and
blow
Joseph
up
are in there.
My room. I'll be back.
Okay.
And start walking.
I'll meet you on the other
I
side.
thought you meant you were gonna shoot me and Michelle.
Yeah.
I really did. I was like,
We don't have to get them out if they're dead.
I can hit them both.
One bullet.
It bounces around the room and just kills everyone.
Do we through this little window situation? Do we see doors that we can access here? Obviously, the one that Fenelek just kicked in or whatever he did.
You see the door where they entered. In fact, I can probably, if you pan up on the Fenelek estate map, I can show you the actual. You are looking in the windows just off to the side.
How much is that orgy in the window?
Now, being outside, do I know where this room is in relation to the front door? Am I able to discern that?
Yeah, you can definitely tell that's just right around the corner.
Okay. I guess Renault would look to Christoph and say, Christoph, you said there was a servants entrance. Where is it?
Servants and trans is around the corner.
There are many entrances within eyesight.
From what I can see, I agree.
It trances me.
This is terrible. As a married man, I take great offense to this. This is not for the sensible.
Greg, you're right there, buddy. That would get you.
Does the servants and trans you?
It does. So he's gonna lean against the wall and slowly start to head in the direction of the servants' entrance, the servants' entrance.
Okay, so you guys are heading around the corner towards where you saw the servants' entrance, and I will expose that.
There's enough of that
That's
going around.
the only
Be
thing you're
careful.
exposing.
And all of France.
This is a Christian server.
the family oriented show.
That one got me.
Family show, guys.
I was unaware of that. I'll be taking my leave.
I believe I'm on the wrong channel. This has been a grave mistake.
Right?
The past 3 years have been a terrible mistake. Damn it.
At that moment of realization. Oh, right.
Will, do you remember when you were in college? Remember?
Remember how life was good.
Okay, so as you guys are sitting there, you all are looking in there. You're heading towards the servants' entrance that you saw before, which is really just slightly down. You actually have to kind of curl up around one of the walkways outside and double back the way you came around the corner of the house to get to it. It was up one of those stone staircases. But it looks like it's going into some type of kitchen. Are all three of you going in that direction?
Wait.
Wait. Okay, so as the three of you go in, that still doesn't answer the question of Martine and Michelle. You are being looked at, and everyone else has fallen into the frenzy of beating to death Marie Antoinette.
Martine's gonna grab another glass of wine.
Call him Maria Mantoinette, just so we know.
And
Yes, Antoinette.
she's going to kind of like sidle
Marie
up.
Antoinette.
She's gonna like sassily sidle up to the outskirts of the group of people, but like if there's like a group, she wants to be like on the outskirts of it near either exit really. And she's gonna kind of stand there and act like she doesn't really want to kick anybody, but she enjoys watching someone get kicked.
Michelle's a soldier, right? He's killed people before. So, yeah. He's gonna go in there, he kind of like gulps and goes in there. But he's gonna try and end the guy's life. Right, he's gonna try and kill him. Right, basically, like, make it look like he steps on his throat and just, like, cracks his, windpipe and he just dies. So he's going to try not to prolong the torture of this dude, because he knows how to kill people.
Martine's just gonna sip wine and watch this happen.
Okay. Okay, so as Michelle goes in with a vengeance, with a determination to end this poor soul's life, I would like you to roll a fighting brawl for me, and the result of said roll will give us what we need. Oh, you get an @1.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I like
So
to prolong his suffering.
As you go in and you go to stomp at his throat, you are jostled by someone just as you go down, and you feel the wet snap of his nose beneath your boot heel as his nose splatters across the side of his face, and you see the gurgling and the bloody bubbles that are coming out of his nose as he's trying to breathe or scream or do whatever it is. And just as you strike with reprieve in your heart, but unfortunately your aim was switched, Fenalik raises his hand, and as if they all see it, everyone stops kicking. And beneath the pile now, the Murray Mantoinette is still alive, moving a bit as blood has caked every square inch of this dress that looks to be just as fine as anything Marie. He comes forward and he pulls Marie Antoinette to a standing position. And even though Mantoinette cannot stand by himself, he holds him up and summons some of the footmen in, and 2 footmen come in from the room with the skinless Pope, and they take the man, and he looks at the 2 of them and he says, "Gently take our friends, let him rest and recover." And as they pull him out, there's a trail of blood along the tiles as he's drawn out into the room with the skinless Pope and around the corner. And as soon as Murray Mantoinette is gone, Comte Fenalik turns and looks at everyone and says, "Come, it is time to dance." And he leads them out into the room with the skinless Pope and beyond to what is the ballroom. And I'll put that up for you guys.
I feel like your knees would be weak after that. Who would want to go dancing?
I know, that's a lot of energy.
Palms sweaty, knees.
Yeah, knees.
Mom spaghetti.
A lot of energy.
Right. France spaghetti.
This is like...
Not a good one. It's not a good joke.
Have any of them been
You're just
elite? Let's
judging
be
Yes,
serious.
all of them have been great. That one was not. It was weak.
Le deux mile.
Those
Right.
teeth.
Oh.
Oops. Scheiße. Left roll 20. Hold on 1 sec.
Nice.
Good job.
I'm excellent.
Drop the mic
Cool.
keys out.
Right. Everybody, just freeform rap. Give me a second. Okay, so as you all are leaving, we are going to cut over to everyone that is going into the kitchen. What would you guys like to do? There appears to be servants inside cooking and preparing the meals, but the back door is open. And if
We
you
saw that from the dining room.
yeah,
Would we hear them leaving the dining room?
you hear the "Come, let us dance."
And then a cacophony of booted footprints across the floor.
Yeah, you guys are able to hear that perfectly clear because the door to the outside from the kitchen is open, and the door from the kitchen into the dining hall is open. So you have a clear eyesight and you have a clear listen. You can hear everything.
Okay. So kind of coming up to like the door of the kitchen, do we see anyone in there?
Just servants. You see people sitting around cooking. Roll me spot hiddens. Everybody that wants to.
No. I refuse.
I see everything, Greg.
I see everything.
With
I
my
see through walls.
Nice.
We know that no one is in these rooms.
Oh, I was.
I thought he saw through walls because Etienne blew them up.
I did.
You are
I did great actually there.
We
You are
have all
seeing it.
succeeded.
right. You are seeing at the atomic level, Sergeant Renault, as you have gotten over the most of the vision of the statue, and as you look in, you notice the following: that Whenever one of the kitchen staff turns to, grab something off of a nearby island or a table and transfer it to one of the stoves, they have an incredibly vacant stare in their eyes, and they are not looking at what they're grabbing. They're just turning, reaching, picking something up, turning, and putting it onto the stove. You do not believe they are aware of anything other than the task at hand.
Still not believing in this witchcraft business, he looks to everyone and says, I think that the Count has hired an entirely blind staff. They do not seem to be seeing with their eyes, but more feeling around. If we are quiet, don't touch anything, stay out of their way, we should be able to pass through.
Seems like great opportunity to sneak through.
Yes, if we just stay low and quiet, I think we should be fine.
He starts to go forward.
Okay, so you are attempting to stealth into the room, correct?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll it.
Why? I've done so well so far.
Myth, you want to stealth with us, or you want to play with your hand?
I will play with my hand.
Okay, that's what I thought.
What's my audio sound? All right. Stealth. Yes, of
I was
course.
gonna say, if you make it.
We are also silent.
No.
Okay, so you guys walk in, and being unfamiliar with the area, there's really nowhere to hide. It's too bright, but you walk into the room regardless, and no one pays attention to you. In fact, they will turn, and one person appears to move to get a scoop of flour out of a nearby barrel, and one of you is in the way, and they just stop. And as soon as you move, they continue, get the scoop of flour, and return back to where they were going.
Yes, see, this is working perfectly. Great work, everyone. It's very quiet.
The one exit from this room there's actually one exit that in a closed door up to, and I'll ping it as I'm using multiple meese. It's not helping me a whole bunch. This door is closed. This door is open and heads towards the hall where you saw the whipping take place.
Right.
He says, I
The
think
foyer.
in the grand foyer. If my hearing is correct, I think I heard everyone leave this room. Perhaps we can see what was done here.
I think I know what was done there.
Some of us spent more time in the window than others. We'll have a talk later at the end. Yes.
Is this door's locked?
Yeah, that door's locked.
Yeah.
Picking hand.
Yeah.
Put your picking hand on.
The lock. All right, I'll why don't we just go back to the foyer? Why don't we just go look at them dance? It's probably gonna be something weird.
Because we're
Yeah.
here.
We-
So we have to get to here.
I'm
And then go there. And then we go there. It's fine.
And this door is closed.
Yeah. So we have to go through the
Not
dining room with the
locked.
whipping.
It's just closed.
You haven't investigated it yet, but this door is
Oh.
currently not open.
I want to touch door.
Why did we
Because
put
where
Mike
did-
in
where did-
charge? He can't even
I-
walk.
I want to put my face
also heard
against it.
locked. I
I heard locked, but I want to put
Uh,
my face against it and rub it to see if it's hot. No. But I want to try to open it, slowly.
Charge the door.
Where
Okay.
did the comp explode from? The double
Explode-
doors?
Through the kitchen,
Through the
right?
kitchen. Yeah, he came in through the kitchen. It's very
Okay.
dramatic.
That, yeah.
As you guys or Christoph, as you check the door, it is not hot.
Not on fire.
Man's not hot. I would like to try to open it slowly.
Christoph, why do you rub your face on the door?
You
I
turn,
like wood, okay?
yeah, with the firm, girthy wood beneath you. You turn and the
You're talking about my hand.
you 29. You turn and you work the knob in just the perfect way that it clicks just at the right moment, and
Come too soon. It went right when it's supposed to.
God damn it. So the door opens and you are greeted with a hallway that appears to travel towards some stairs in the far corner, and you see a trail of blood heading down the hallway.
Is this what they?
Okay.
Is this? I heard him say, "Move the man out of here." Is this where they moved the married Antoinette?
It could be where they dragged them off to. Only one way to know for sure.
Antoinette kills me.
I want.
It is
Perhaps
just
we
the
should
best.
proceed.
Otherwise, it would be Maria, and we would just get confused. So.
It's true. It's
And
true.
how do you solve a problem like Maria?
Wow.
It's full circle.
Well done.
There it is.
Bravo. Bravo.
Oh God!
Maybe we could all be nuns. That would be fine.
Yeah.
Can we do the sound of music?
I head in
How
the
do you
room.
solve
I head in the hallway.
Cthulhu version of Sound of Music.
Yeah, roll it tight.
Yes, the sound of Cthulhu.
Nunnery.
The sound of
This-
Cthulhu, yeah.
Yes,
All the Vaughn traps are dead, except for one of them. You got to figure out which one it is.
the
Right.
littlest
Yes.
one is just you.
Outbound trap.
Right.
We can
Yeah.
do that countdown song as they die.
Right. Yeah. Oh, but you can make a super creepy version of that too. You know, as they dance off, whatever.
They would get to kill Nazis though.
Well, or the Nazis would kill them.
I head in the room.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
we let off.
Yeah.
You follow the blood down to a
Oh.
door, and you can tell from the depth of this door in relation to the rest of the room and hall that it is either a closet or a door to cellar steps, and it is locked.
Etienne, do you have one of your lock-picking hands?
I can try. Let me see if I have it in my assorted handbag.
There it is.
Oh, I want to make you a literal handbag to carry.
That was the best one yet.
A giant lock picking set, but
That was the
30.
arms.
I like the idea of the way that they're sewn together is like they're all holding hands. And so like that's how the bag is made. It's just a bunch of hands like this, all just sewn together. Or like that.
Check
So
my
that
assorted handbag.
and they just keep going.
That would push me over the edge. That was the one.
My locksmithing is 1, so yeah, I can do it.
Oh, same. I thought about it. I really did.
Mine's also one. Oh man,
I did
Wait,
it.
You know what?
you listened.
You know what I will do? I will use a nat 20.
Only
You're really
if
close
you
there.
Actually, pick up his lock hand and pick the lock that way.
It's one of these, I know it.
It's one of these.
He's got the bag down and he's sorting through it.
Listen,
It's
hands.
like-
Wait, no.
It's like when you
My
put on
library
the,
hands.
It's like when you're trying to
no.
find the right
My
screwdriver
magnifying
size.
hand.
He's putting
So
on the
Haley's
different-
nat 20ing that door open.
I
Yeah,
really
that's
want
right.
to go into the maybe closet wine cellar.
Okay, so with a experience perhaps born of the situation, you reach down, and though you don't have any lock-picking tools on your person, you do
I have
notice.
his lock picking hand.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not. He doesn't have it with him. He brought the wrong handbag. It did not match his outfit. Remember, he's dressed like a footman now, so he can't.
So he's got a foot badge.
clashed. It
He
clashed.
has a foot.
Damn it! Walked right into that. Oh shit! There you go. It was the softball.
Let's
I
just
threw at Mike.
stick to the script, guys. No ad lib. Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay, so as you're able to look around, you do see that this seems to also be the area where many of the the wood fireplaces, or perhaps a lot of the kindling for the stove, is left in the next room. So you're able to find a very thin piece of something that was used to start the fire, some kindling, and you take it out and you're able to kind of work it in there, and you hear the click as somehow it works, and you really put it in there and you really didn't do much to it before you felt the tumblers give in this kind of an older lock, and the door swings open. And as you pull the stick back out, you realize that for a moment you're pretty sure you saw it move, and the stick itself seems to sort of bend and bow for a moment, and then it gets straight once more. And without thinking, you just open up your breast pocket and tuck it into your jacket to keep it for the time being. And before you is a dark staircase of stone in which a blood trail, thump, first step, third step, fifth step, as if whatever was being carried or drugged down here was not drugged down in a very gentle fashion, as it looks to have either been thrown down the steps or pulled quickly down the steps. And as you're staring, the three of you looking down into this area, let's cut back to the ballroom as we have Michelle and Martine as they begin to take a look at what we have.
Martine's hoping that her dance card doesn't fill up.
It's going to definitely be, you have a lot more suitors now than you probably did before the
Martine's
whole blood.
gonna be like, Michelle, write your name for every dance. Every fucking dance. Write your name for every.
I can't dance.
I do not care.
I have 2 left feet.
You can't kiss either, but you did that tonight.
I have 2 left feet, but I don't talk about it a lot in case it upsets Babby and Lolo of his hand.
Well,
He's only got 1 hand. You see, so I have 2 left feet. Okay, fine.
And I write it on the sign-up sheet like I'm at a convention, going to a gaming table.
she's like, she has ever done another one.
Yes,
Or
yes.
set.
Yes, I'm not very good at writing my name. Fine.
I marked my name on.
For those of you guys who are wondering, those things actually did exist, and if you wanted to not dance at a party, like if a guy asks you to dance for like most of that century and into the 20th, if you said no, if you're like, oh man, I'm not really feeling this one, if you sat it out, you didn't get to dance for the rest of the time. So if you were a girl, you literally did have to put up with like sweaty palms and annoying people to dance with like the one dude you wanted to dance with.
Yeah, this isn't that type of fucking party. This is completely different.
I sensed that somehow.
Definitely
Craig.
a fucking party.
Not sure what it was. Was it the
I have a
Mary
feeling she's not
Manson?
gonna really get a choice, but she
Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
She possibly can. She's gonna be like, I don't want to dance with these people.
Okay, so
Oh, I
as you
dance with
guys
somebody.
as you guys walk into the grand hall that is the ballroom, it does have an elevated stage on the far end of it, and as you guys walk in, you can see that on the ceiling, depicted very much like a Renaissance painting, is a depiction of the Fourth Crusade's siege of Constantinople. And it's very odd and very specific, and you're able to pick up, in fact, what it is because it is titled as the Siege of Constantinople. But also on the stage, more disturbing than perhaps anything else, is the corpse of a small boy, maybe 7, 8, dressed just like the fallen prince, the Dauphin, and with the white face, the gaunt, sunken eyes of somebody that has been consumed by consumption or tuberculosis. You are staring at a child's corpse. And I'll need you guys to roll sanity checks
Of
for me.
course you will.
Way.
So basically, Martine's gonna go temporarily insane in this episode.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, well, apparently nothing faces
You're
her.
you're like too cool with this. Yeah.
She's just gonna
Dead child, no big deal.
dead child. She's had a lot of wine, and she's just gonna keep having more.
Why, these free?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
That's 3 for you.
Woo.
And as you're both staring there, and Michelle, as you look and you see a child's corpse, Martine immediately breaks the gaze of recognizing exactly what you saw, but she seems way too calm for the fact that, immediately turns, you must dance with me every fucking time, blah, blah, blah. And your mind kind of pinpoints away from what she's saying and onto the child corpse on the stage, and then you see it move. You see a hand reach down, and it seems to be messing around with a violin or a fiddle that is roughly the size or comparable, proportionable for a child to use. And it is only then that you realize that this is not a child at all, but it is a dwarf that is dressed like the Dauphin. But even that realization, you can't shake the image of the dead child from your mind, as if it was purposely done. And you see several of the other guests seem to be as stunned as you are, not just at the body, but at the movement and the fact that that doesn't seem to help the situation.
Martin, what the fuck is that?
Do you think this was my idea? Just dance, get out of here. I'll pretend I have to go to the bathroom. It's going to take 9 years with this dress. It'll be fine. Dance with me.
Fine.
She's gonna keep the act up from like earlier that she basically owns him, and she's gonna grab him by the necktie and drag him to the dance floor.
Okay, as you all move towards the dance floor, at this point, Comte Fenelick comes in and he takes the stage beside the person dressed as the Dauphin. And he looks down and he says, "It is time for your masterpiece, Dietrich Zahn." And you see the small boy kind of look down, or the dwarf, the small man, and he turns to the assembled people and he said, Comte Fenelick says, "It is time for the music from beyond." And with that, you see the violin come up and the dwarf's hands are trembling as he puts the bow to the string. And with one piercing note, I need you both to roll sanity checks again.
It's a soulmonger, isn't it?
Oh. There ain't no party like a Cthulhu party.
Okay, we're fine.
Fuck! I fell by
Shit.
1!
Shit. Use a luck point.
Just spend some luck
I
points.
can't spend luck on sanity. You can't spend luck on sanity.
Ew.
Yeah.
We'll get wrecked.
It's a ring.
Correct.
Will,
Ah!
oh my God, you lucked out.
I'm laughing because on the inside I'm crying.
You lose 4 sanity, and Martine, you lose 3, as just the drawl of the note that goes across caused.
Oh, it's a brown note.
It was. You are all wearing your brown pants, so it helps out.
It's a brown note. Oh.
I don't have to pretend that I have to use the bathroom now.
No, it's Coldplay. No.
Okay, so total for you guys so far, I have 4 loss for Mike, 7 for Will, 6 for Jules, 3 for Haley, and Myth. I don't think you've lost anything yet, have you?
Yeah, no, I'm spot on.
Keeps his sanity in one of his wooden hands.
That's right.
He has a sanity hand, yeah.
Sanity hand.
It's Hannity.
Oh.
Oh.
31. As the note goes across, we're going to cut down to the other end of the estate, where you all hear a squeal, a mixture of nails on chalkboard, of a screaming of the damned. It is an unearthly sound, but you are far enough away that it doesn't affect you, other than to cause you a sense of dread in your soul. But you are staring down these steps as whatever was drugged down the steps, or thrown down the steps, or brought down the steps, has left a trail.
Wait.
I did not hear the 2 men, or whoever brought this man down here, leave. I don't think that if we descend further, we will be alone. Best be on your guard. Should we proceed? Are you ready?
Wait.
And he leads.
Oui. Sacre bleu.
Yeah, he descends the staircase.
Christoph would follow suit.
I will take up the rear.
Roll stealth checks for me,
We're better than
everybody.
that. Come on, there we go. Good.
Damn it.
See, I was doing like,
What episode is this? 3?
yeah.
There's.
Shh. Oh.
We're so quiet. Can we be quiet enough for the for him too?
Mike, I didn't make you use a nat 1 there. So if you want to spend the 9 luck, you can.
I spent it.
Okay, so with an expert precision, as only a military unit that has seen conflict and knows the value of surprise, you lower yourselves down the steps. Several of you just kind of subconsciously making sure you don't step in the blood, taking each even-numbered step as you go down. You quickly come to the bottom of what is an earthen and stone cellar, and you see that there are 2 torches kind of lighting the way into the distance, maybe 40 or 50 feet down a hallway. You notice that there are chambers to the right and the left, neither unlit. And you see that maybe another 20 feet down, another set of right and left chambers are there. Neither are unlit, or neither are lit. And through the dust and dirt of the stone on the floor, you can see the dark, no longer red, but just a dark liquid drug through the dirt towards the far end of the hall.
The chambers, they have the doors closed? They have like little...
There are no doors to these chambers. They appear, they're just dark. You cannot see in them.
Okay.
Shit.
Is there we can see enough to see the dark smear?
Yeah, because the main hallway is lit, but the antechambers off to each side are completely dark.
Do we see any kind of light source anywhere? Like a torch? Sconce?
Yep. You see a torch about 10 feet down, and then another one on the opposite wall about 20 feet down, and maybe a third farther down, but it kind of bends around a slight corner. But they seem to be kind of fixed in the wall.
Do we continue?
I am afraid if we continue, we will be blind, but I hesitate to light one of these torches. I don't know what else is down here.
We could always return. We can further explore the mansion.
I don't think we'll get another chance to come down here.
I agree.
Everyone seems to be distracted.
This is the best time for us to act as if we light a torch now.
Etienne,
Wait,
your eye has been impeccable.
thank you.
Can you fire in the dark? Or will you trust yourself?
Fire in the dark.
And I take out my gun as if I'm actually about to fire.
Be ready to use that.
Oh,
It may
well,
come to this.
I am ready. I will be.
And Renault's gonna proceed. He's gonna follow his hallway. Like he's gonna put like one hand on the wall and then like trace his hand on the wall so that he's following a wall.
I would light a torch.
The torches they seem like they're affixed to the wall. They don't go with us. That's
Right.
the downside.
Yeah, they are attached to the wall in sconces. I mean, you could probably, any torch can be removed from the wall, but these seem particularly fixed in there, as if maybe they're extinguished and lit and extinguished and lit, and not something that burns down and replaced. So it looks as if you could get them out, but it might not be as
The quietest
easy.
thing.
Yeah.
We can shoot them, right?
You could shoot them out. Yeah, that would probably be the best thing to do, right?
Yeah, probably the most efficient. So he puts his left hand on the wall and begins to walk down the hall because he's right-handed and his sword is in his right hand, or it's in his right. Whatever. You can draw it with his right hand. That's the word.
Okay, that makes one of them.
Okay, so as you walk down, since you are using your left hand as you walk down, you get to the first room on your left, the first chamber. And once you pull parallel to it, you realize that it's a cell. There seems to be an open door against the wall. You catch just the corner of it as it looks to be a barred door. And as you continue down the wall, you get to the next one, also a barred door. You continue down and it starts to curve just a bit, and it's another barred door. And ahead you hear crying.
From the curved hallway or from another one of these cells?
From the curved hallway. You're past the cells now.
Is this a masculine cry or is this a feminine cry?
You can't tell.
Okay. Is this a man-to-head cry? So yeah, he continues, hand on the wall, and begins to slowly, as quietly as he can, walk forward.
Okay, so as you take your hand and continue to drag it along, perhaps using the wall itself as some type of touchstone, literally, to keep your mind away from the statue, away from what you saw in the dining room, away from the very terror that seems to just be on the outskirts of your consciousness. You rely on what's gotten you this far, your military training, orders, following them, doing what has been your life's work. And as you walk towards, with your sword out, with your companions, your soldiers, those that trust in you behind you, you round the corner and you see the two men that drug Manny or Murray Mantoinette down here. They are sitting, and you see them slowly peeling the flesh from beneath the eyes as they drag it across. And this man who has been savaged, the nose broken and splattered along one of the same cheeks, as they pull the skin down, revealing the muscle and the ligament and the tendon, all he can do is cry and whimper. And it sounds disturbingly like a child as they pull and begin to flay this man. And you notice just inside the door lies the bloody wig of the Mantoinette. And you realize right away that this piece of fallen ornament is physical evidence that you could take, present to Captain Milan, Dr. Rigault, and it would prove that whatever is going on at Comp Fenelix's estate needs to be stopped.
I don't like anything you're saying. I rolled to not notice anything.
Fully Mantoinette.
Oh.
Filet Mantoinette. Well done. Well done.
That was good. Well done, chat.
Yeah, that was fantastic. My wig to you.
These two men are peeling his skin with their hands.
One of them seems to have a curved knife that they're kind of getting under the skin and being able to pull it away and then cutting and pulling away as if they are skinning a carcass, as if they are taking...
My stomach is literally like churning. It's like, ugh.
I'm familiar with them.
Pause and ask how Greg knows so much about this.
Research.
Greg has a concerning number of secrets about that.
Christoph sees opportunity to sneak forward and grab the wig.
Okay, so you're going to attempt to sneak forward and snatch the wig?
That's pretty sunburned.
So he would kind of like look at his sergeant and like make eyes towards the wig if it's noticeable in this dark hallway. But
yeah, you all see it.
Greg, do we hear music lilting down the stairs at all?
From down here, you can't hear a thing.
Okay. Fuck.
My headphones.
So
we're all gonna die tonight.
At this rate, yeah.
The
30 minutes to kill us.
The inner soldier takes over, and seeing this man brutally savage what looks to be an innocent man, bones broken. We watched him get like all Renault saw was him get the shit kicked out of him and then dragged off to be peeled. He pulls out the blade at his side, which is unfortunately not his normal saber, but in fact the dagger from the alleyway, because the saber is hard to disguise, and charges at the two men. And I'm going to strike at the one with the with the visible weapon.
Okay, so you're going in at this person, and
yep.
Okay,
You each anything, or is this just you reacting?
He just knee-jerk reacts. Like he sees them peeling what looks to be an innocent man, and you would probably have a split second to see him draw this long dagger, and then he is off.
Right, beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm gonna attack that guy who seems to have the hooked blade.
Okay, so I roll a. Let me see. Do you have a saber attack, right?
I do have saber attack. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll the saber attack, and I'll tell you what we'll do with damage should you hit.
I hit.
Okay, so you're able to hit, and we're going to add a additional 3 points to that for 10 damage as you come in and sink the blade deep into what would be right around like the small of the back and drive it. And you can actually see, because we explained this girthy blade as being, that's not a knife, this is a knife type of blade. And you see the point of it actually punch up through just beneath the right rib cage of one of these footmen, and without a word, the footman turns to attack. What are the two of you doing?
Firing.
You're gonna take a shot?
Yeah. Ready this whole time.
But if I don't hear music down here, then they won't hear gunshots, right?
That what you would think. You would think that that's how it would work.
Would really, really hurt.
I don't know how sound works.
We
I yell. Y'all ready for this? Damn it!
Oh,
Damn it.
It is dark, Etienne. No one will judge you.
So,
Don't worry, just-
boom! The shot goes off of the powder-fed pistol as the bullet itself ricochets off of one of the low-hanging bars, and it takes and bounces into the chamber a bit as the second uninjured one turns up and begins to reach for an identical knife that your sergeant is wielding. Christoph, what would you like to do?
charge the man who just pulled out a knife
Okay.
and stab him.
You can never actually reload in combat.
That's correct.
Or too long. Shit, I have.
What have I done?
Just
So,
go for different pistols with
Throw
one
a hand
bullet in
at
them.
him.
Another, like,
Just
he-
throw your hand at him.
Yeah,
We'll
that's-
get you another one.
Okay, I shot
You already
that
have.
Sergeant, could you reload this?
Christoph, as you come up, you're able to take your rapier out, and very D'Artagnan, as you've been explained or described as before, you're able to flick the knife blade away as you drive in a strike to the man's knife arm, and he expertly flips the knife from the right hand to the left hand as they both come in against you. Etienne, you are in the back, and since they are both engaged, we are going to see how they do. This one will be against the sergeant, and I'm going to take my nat 20 here. I think I've got one of
Yeah,
that.
good,
You got like
good. Take
4
that,
of
Greg.
those, Greg.
Yeah, Greg, take that.
You
Yeah,
have
then that's
none.
And
I have none, I'm gonna hide them.
They don't exist.
Oh look, they got
Okay.
the Haley screen, weird.
okay, so that's going to be 8 damage to Sergeant Renault, the Sarge, as the Sarge takes 8 from this strike that rips across up through his chest, through where would have been some of the loose armament that he had before, as blood begins to pour down the chest of your sergeant. The second attack comes in, and I think I'm going to take a nat 20 here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Proud of you.
And for 6 damage on Christoph, as the man that had pulled the knife flips it into his left hand and drives it into the sword arm, the bicep of Christoph, and you feel your rapier arm go numb. You can still use it, but narratively, that is a 6-point loss.
Yikes.
We are now into combat with these two fellas, and I need everyone to roll a dex check for me, please. This will be our initiative. Oh, very good.
Oh my god. Can somebody turn off the roll 20 bleep?
Yeah.
It triggers
Oh,
me.
that's me. Yeah, my,
Like, it wakes me up at night, but...
yeah.
It wakes me up at night.
Me too, man.
Yes,
Okay, so you guys are all going to be going first. Haley, you have the ability to attack first here. You have just been struck in the bicep on your rapier arm. You can still attack the person in front of you.
Can I go back at him?
Okay, so with your second strike, you're able to drive it up through the bottom jaw, and it pierces out one of the eyes as you have finished off one of these footmen, and you're kind of slumped back with the blood pouring from your right arm. Sergeant, I believe you're next, are you not?
Man, he's not doing great. Is this room's lit up, right?
Yeah, this room's lit up.
Okay. Is it? So I'm new to Cthulhu, so bear with me. Is it an action or some shit to like throw a weapon to somebody else?
I will allow you to do it in lieu of an attack. Yeah, if you want to.
Okay. So he reaches in like underneath his coat to where his back is, and he pulls out his pistol and he tosses it to Etienne before stabbing the guy again.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attack roll with your saber. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that's a natural crit. So as you're able to drive this into the neck and you just slice and cut through the mask in the lower part, and blood and ichor begins to pour out, silencing this person. They both drop to the ground, and I need a con roll from the Sarge to see if he can keep his feet, and a dex roll from Etienne to see if he catches the gun. Okay, Sarge keeps his feet.
Yes, they both.
Reach forward.
Catch the gun, one-handed catch.
That's how.
I suddenly have the
catches
Bear's
hand on.
necessities in my head.
That's that story.
Oh yeah, it does kind of have the same.
Remember that scene from Hook where they're teaching Jack how to play baseball and he puts the glove hand on.
Right. Exactly.
Oh man, that's Mitch.
Okay. Did you roll a dex myth for me?
Oh no, I didn't. Here you go.
Okay.
Hey,
Woo!
You're able to catch it in your good hand as you get it ready to go.
Roll the gun, grab that, whatever. What was it? What was I catching?
I threw my gun to you because you
What was
fired
I
yours.
catching?
Whoa, it's
You just see movement and catch something and oh, it's a gun.
That's actually what I
Oh, he
do.
threw his knife. Ah.
So yeah, you catch the gun and you're able to. You now have a loaded gun and another loaded pistol. And as the three of you are sitting there, up above you, which you didn't notice before, there appears to be a grate network. You know, it seems to be a very large grate, perhaps with another grate above it. You can loosely make it out in the torchlight. And a smoke begins to come down through this grate. And the man, Murray Mantoinette, that is in front of you, flayed, half the cheek kind of slapping against the jaw as he continues to cry. The wig is at your feet. Smoke is coming down. But before we finish that, we're going to get back up to the top. As the ballroom is going on and as an additional note is starting to be played, all of a sudden, Comte Fenelick reaches down and grabs the hand of the person that he identified as Zahn and stops them from playing, much to the happiness of everybody that is in here, as the sound, this incredibly grating psychic attack, stops. And everyone takes a breath and kind of falls back, and nervous laughter fills the area as many people are too shocked, stunned, or perhaps insane at this point to actively appreciate how close to death they came. And as he stops, he turns and he says, "This will be concluded at the feast of the animals." And he turns and stalks, and as he's leaving the room, he says, "Everyone out."
I am more than willing to oblige him.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, we've been like boogieing on the dance floor for way too long.
Totally.
Right. And as you guys go out and your limbs seem to return to your own, and as the song from beyond, the music from beyond stops, and Michelle especially is finally able to have a moment where he can focus and bring himself back around, you're able to stumble out past the Skinless Pope, or where the Skinless Pope used to be, and you stumble out into the night air. And as you're in the night air of Poissy, everyone seems to be headed towards the gate, not waiting for carriages to arrive. What would you guys like to do?
I am.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, I'm going for that.
We are going to go to just wherever the crowd's going.
We have to get out of here, Joseph. I mean,
Shall we just go? We are going. This is yes. She's just kind of like, she's like got her. She's like, you know the thing. She's like got his arm, like it's like looks like he's being a gentleman, and she's like, he's offered her his arm, but she's like steering him. She's like, let's go.
Yeah, Michelle was very close to like tears.
Bye,
at this point.
we will never see this place again. I hope. Bye.
Out of here, never coming back.
As you leave the area where the Skinless Pope used to be, you guys pass down, you exit the gate, and with a little bit of luck, you look over and you actually see the carriage and Omelette du Fromage parked off to the side.
Bless Jesus.
There's no sight of your companions, though.
Lele.
Where are they? Joseph, have they left us? They've left us, haven't they?
Well, let us use that tiny little
Send us
brain
in
of
there.
yours and think for a moment. If Omelette du Fromage was here, would our companions have left us?
Oh, at least I always will have omelette du fromage. I go and
It's
stroke.
actually a very good pairing for you if we really think about it. You are about on the same intelligence level, and I'm sure Omelette du Fromage will not mind how you kiss.
You're still both smeared with blood around your mouth as you're talking to one another.
She's gonna pull out a handkerchief and start wiping it off.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go into this a little bit. You're gonna have to spend a little bit of time to get. This is dried blood on your face now. As you guys
the
are,
mom thing where you like spit on something like.
yeah, the cat cleaning. Yeah.
I kissed you.
She's gonna spit on the handkerchief and she's gonna like start wiping his face like a mom. She's like, ugh.
I did, you know, it's like remembering I kissed you. Oh.
Yes, it was not enjoyable. Let us not think of it again.
That is.
I would rather go back to the room with the dwarf that almost killed us.
Sergeant, he cannot know about that.
No, he cannot know.
We would have a
Are the other
disciplinary
carriages
hearing.
leaving? Are the other carriages like getting the fuck out? We have to look like we're doing what everybody.
You guys are off the road a bit, and it appears that no one is even paying any attention to you all. Someone does look over, and it's the old couple that you kind of went in right behind, and they mutter, they mutter a bit.
Yeah, she's.
Salut.
Yeah. So as you go, they look over, and they're a little irritated that you have your carriage ready, and theirs is all the way in the village. But the village is very close. They're just a couple hundred yards away. They're walking down to it. And as you guys are kind of figuring out where everybody else went, let's cut back to the cellar as the smoke is beginning to come from the ceiling and begins to fill the room. What would you three like to do?
Panic, cry.
We don't have time for that.
It's a free action. I will give you a nat 20 on cry.
As a free action, I pee myself.
Yep.
What is in this room?
You should roll for that.
As you're looking around this room, you see at this point, there doesn't appear to be anything other than implements of torture, but most of these appear to be things that would be best suited in like a taxidermy office or even a butcher's, as these are hooks, like you said, like the paring knives, the hooked implements to remove flesh from muscle. There are large cleavers here that would probably be used to cut through bone. There's a couple saws. There is Murray Mantoinette. There is the bloodied wig. Murray's in a chair, strapped down, appears to be completely batshit crazy. There are 2 grates in the ceiling, one lower, one higher, and there seems to be a mist and smoke coming through them.
Shit. So I think the first thing Renaud does is he grabs the other dagger, the other like little short sword thing, and tosses it to Christoph, and says, "This places the man who attacked Joseph here. This is the same dagger I have. This is the man that attacked Joseph with this, that connects the 2 crimes." You already grabbed the hair, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Man, does this mist look nefarious, Greg?
It is beginning to kind of gather in
pretty
a
chill.
specific area.
Because my first thought is to like take Etienne's disguise that he's wearing and put it on Marie Antoinette and get him out. That's damning evidence.
Well, we need to get out, and he's batshit crazy.
Everybody
Yeah.
roll spot hiddens for me.
Good, great. I still have nuclear eye vision.
Right, you are Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so as you're looking and assessing the area, and as everything kind of is falling into place, at least in a military level, there was no no losses on your side, 2 down on theirs. Everything is about numbers at this point. You're scanning the room, looking for anything. How do we get him out? Can we dress him in one of these clothes? And as the mist is coming down, you realize it's starting to form into the shape of a man. A moment later, it gets denser.
I'm having flashbacks.
And then it forms, and in front of you is the
Strahd.
man that it is Strahd von Zarovich.
I played that game before.
Right. As you see Comte Fenelic before you, he smiles and gestures towards the far staircase.
Mm-mm.
And he says, 1, 2,
Mm-mm.
3.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And that's where we will end.
Damn it!
Oh,
No! Shit on you, Greg.
Oh, I'm having some terrible flashbacks.
I gotta go lay down.
I need a nap.
I need a nap. Michelle needs a nap.
Oh no.
Well,
So do we have like aftercare?
yeah, is there a
there like
therapy
a-
is there
session?
like a place where we can go and someone can hug me?
Usually after one of those kind of parties, it's like aftercare, and
You
you
could
make
come to
sure
my
Oh,
house.
you make sure your partner's okay.
I just need a hug.
I think Michelle is definitely like absolutely scarred by all of the things that he's done and seen after this one. Fuck.
Line.
Etienne.
It's just like
Etienne's just
"Oh,
great."
don't-
I don't understand.
Oh my
This
god.
place seems very nice.
I like it here.
We
Nice roses.
Greg, remember when we played Middle Earth and we just joked about Deke, and now you did this to me? This is just.
Yeah.
I want the old Greg back.
So do I.
I want Pat back.
Oh man, well my friends, that is where we're wrapping up tonight's episode of Reign of Terror. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy the show, hit the follow button and join us. We're here every day playing Dungeons and Dragons, Call of Cthulhu. Oh man, we're
I
back
didn't
on
enjoy it.
tomorrow as well. Tomorrow we're back with the Long March at 5 PM Eastern, so that's when you'll see us online next. Holy mackerel. If you liked this episode, it's episode 3, I think, of this series. You can go back on YouTube and you can watch the previous episodes. They're all up on there. On the playlist, you can watch 1 and 2 and catch up with the story if you just joined in today. And all of the other series on Encounter Roleplay at the moment as well. That's where you can find them. Thank you to our sponsors, Team Dice, for putting up with us and for continuing to
Oh yeah, you the sponsors.
sponsor the mess.
Maybe our sponsor will make us some BDSM dice.
Yeah, so
They're just solid black.
please
The-
don't
They're leather dice.
They're not black. The dice are like 50 shades of gray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
there's
can-
like
you
20s on either side.
Yeah, the new
That's
line
terrible.
is D&D
Critic
beads as well as D&D dice.
We
You can
turned the numbers.
do whatever you want with them, my friends. Oh man, whew. Gotta check that contract. Let's go around to custom.
Believe me, buddy, they're checking it too.
Checking it right now.
Somebody
Oh,
mentioned Home Depot though, man. I feel like they
Yeah.
you can buy all kinds of weird shit at Home Depot. You
Home
can build
Depot
your own.
sponsor
Build
me.
your own.
You can set
Oh,
your
yeah.
own.
After
This
that
is-
endorsement, Home Depot on the line.
Me and
Yeah.
Home
Like,
Depot have a very
yeah,
long
you have for
relationship.
this.
Didn't we have the History Channel on episode 1?
Yeah,
Oh, the History Channel is like
Street Channel go
That's
for
true.
us. The Natural
we're
History Channel maybe.
up right after Ancient Aliens.
Yep, we'll have our own TV show. Let's go on a casting crew. Do we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find one another online? Greg, my friend, what the fuck was that? First of all.
Hey, listen, man, we're running a module. If you have complaints, please forward them to Chaosium.
Okay,
I
so-
may have embellished a few things. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say this picture is hasn't got what you described on.
well, hey, it's all in the telling, correct? I had a great time. Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. This week is a busy one. We've had tonight, Reign of Terror. Wednesday, we have a little Nameless Horrors, which is super duper fun. It's where it's at from 1 to 4. On Wednesday evening, for the very last time, I get to play my Godling Steam, The Lurk, in Unmade Ming's channel from 8 to 11. Please check it out. One of my favorite characters of all time, super fun. And I have some great returning first-time character on Learn by Play on Wizards of the Coast's channel. 6 Eastern, season 2, 6 Eastern to 9 Eastern. Can't wait for that. Will tells a great story and also helps you learn to play along the way. And then we're off this week because of some type of game, some sports ball game. But normally on my channel, Grimjack21502 on the Twitch, you can find us playing some Pulp Cthulhu from 7 to 9 on Sundays, which is super duper fun. We punch Nazis and have a lot of fun. But meet me back here. I've got some more embellishments next week when we make this shit super crazy. See you next week, chat.
Amazing. Let's go around in reverse order. So Jules.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Julia_Rosa, just like the name is here. And you can find me with the Dungeon Drunks on Monday nights. Our podcast comes out. You guys can listen to it. It's super, super duper fun. Though not quite as intense as this. And there have been no popes whose gross hands I've had to kiss. And
well, I'm not listening then.
I'm not. Yeah, this was traumatic. This was not the middle school dance I thought we were going to tonight. So thanks a lot, Greg. But no, this is really fun and awesome.
So much. Mythomatic.
Hello, guys. That was so much fun. Love playing. Sorry I was a little quiet today. I was trying to figure out stuff on my other computer, but had a blast as always. Can't wait for next week. If you guys want to hang out with me, I'll be live throughout the week over on my channel as well. But you don't have to. It's fine. I'll see you next week.
Haley.
I had a great time. I'm glad to be back. I am the Great Haley on all social media, so Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. I'm a variety streamer. I would play stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays. And you can find me over on Exploding Dice on Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. Central, playing a drunk pirate. Yeah.
Nice.
Yar.
Perfect.
Unmade gaming.
I'm not okay. I didn't enjoy myself. This was traumatic. I feel like I've been duped. Everyone said, yeah, let's put Mike in charge. He's never played Cthulhu before. And I made a series of bad calls, and now we're going to get killed by what is clearly a vampire man who's timeless. And I don't want. Can it just be Tuesday and then next Tuesday? We just skip Monday. It's fine. Super Bowl Monday.
Do you want to be demoted?
Yeah, can someone take over? Like, I'm going to go talk to Captain Manon or whatever the hell his name is and get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm taking my wife and kids. I'm out of here. France sucks. I'm going to England.
Technically, if we're being serious, we could run away.
yeah. Just go the fuck away. I'm out. I'm gonna
literally
desert this fucking place. I ain't got nothing. No. But I am here for the next 7 unfortunate weeks playing Call of Cthulhu until Will says some other show in that time frame. But you can find me for the rest of the week on my channel playing all kinds of games right after Will's stream ends. So come over and check us out all week long.
Dope. Yeah, I think we got 13, or maybe like 11 or so more episodes left of Rain of Horror, Rain of Terror, so we're fucked. This is only the beginning.
We'll have 3 new characters by the time we're done with it.
I've got mine ready.
At the rate that he's going with those sanity checks, oh yeah.
Wow.
I'm so excited for the episodes, all the episodes to occur from this point onward in the French mental hospital.
What I want you to do, Haley, is I want to clip that audio where you're like, with the rate that he's going with those sanity checks, oh yeah, and just use that for like a host animation or something like that, because that is incredible promotion for Chaosium Inc. Guys, girls, chicks love it when you use those sanity checks, guys.
God damn it.
As a girl, can confirm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We love those sanity checks.
Oh yeah. Not a dry seat in the room. Well, the next time you'll see us here is of course same time next week for more Reign of Terror. It's Mondays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, but we're back online on Encounter Roleplay 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for the Long March. Myself, Josh, Laurelania, Tool School, and Louise. Also, the big news is Saturday, we return to the Wizard of Coast D&G channel for our season premiere of Learn by Play Season 2. We're going to be reinventing the realms as we go. We're going to be re-homebrewing, I guess, and reinventing parts of the realms, the Forgotten Realms, as we play for actual games. So if you enjoy Dungeons & Dragons, or maybe you haven't yet got to play a game, you want to learn some rules, come along, learn with us as we play. As the name would suggest. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to go host D&D at the moment. They're doing Dragon Talk. Someone's probably on there talking about something about Dungeons and Dragons, which I imagine will be interesting. Until then, though, my friends, try not to draw too many net ones. We want to be laughing when you do. Good night.